Cool, friends. Well, we ready to do this dance?
Hell yeah, dude.
Let's do it. All right, so let's start off with a recap of last time. So we started off still underneath, underground in the City of the Dead in the Erzatzerai complex after we had kind of had a long conversation with Supervisor Ormond, a new character that we kind of discovered in this complex. We also learned this complex was actually responsible for creating, maybe not all, but some world spikes, and they were consistently making one. You actually interrupted them in the process of currently making a new one. As you were talking to the supervisor, you learned a little bit more about the reasons why the world spikes exists, a little bit more understanding of the Erzatzerai and kind of their raison d'etre, etc. And ultimately decided to take a temporary alliance so that they could help you kill Jackson, which, you know, it seemed like it would be a pretty tough thing. Supervisor Ormond gave you a couple of resources, including a special magical item, and then also gave you the information of a contact that was nearby at the Temple of the Saviors. Sadly, she hadn't been able to hear from the contact in a while. I was a little concerned about her, so she wasn't sure if she had been compromised or if that contact would be very helpful. But she did give it to you as an option because she is someone who has been able to observe Lena, and the recommendation was to go after Lena Orbweaver instead of going after Jackson directly. Or you could just make your way through a different pathway there. Ultimately, you decided to go and try to find this contact, which you eventually were. It was certainly an interesting bit of discovery as you talked to the head nurse at the Temple of the Saviors, a place kind of known for health and medicine. And as you kind of snuck into this hospital and were accosted by a few different people, you did eventually discover where this contact was. And you discovered her real name to be Fenrisha, who was sadly, like everyone else at this temple, had been affected by this kind of vicious disease that first targets your eyes, blinds you, and then kills you, shortly thereafter, maybe within a week or two. As you were kind of talking to Fenrisha and seeing that she was also affected by this disease, you did learn a little bit about what was going on. Apparently, it seems as though Lena has been concocting this disease and was just testing it in the area as a way to eventually sick it on Wadep, the capital, in a way to maybe plant Jackson as one of the new Lord Rulers on the council. Fenrisha suggested that you head towards the lake because there were a contingent of Lordless Crown members there that was strange, kind of guarding a abandoned fishing hut that seemed a little out of place. Or you could just head towards the main road and possibly catch one of the caravans of Forward Motion Solutions, which is an airship company that Lena has been buying a lot of goods from. Ultimately, again, you decided to go after the Lordless Crown. Ivo was kind of curious to what was going on, as was Rowena. And when you arrived, lo and behold, there were Lordless watching over this abandoned hut. And in the kind of rain and dark, you were able to sneakily observe them. And you saw that these casks, these small casks, were floating up to the surface, and the Lordless were pulling them out, putting them in this hut, and kind of repeating this process. With some very clever decision-making on Zunus's part, you pretended to act diseased. Firo jumped into that measure and took that on. And he and a few of you walked up and asked for help and just bought yourself enough time so that the leader of the Lordless in that area, Valdru, didn't just immediately attack you, which bought you enough time to get the upper hand, do some really crazy shenaniganeries in combat, overwhelm them, and just about killed Valdru, but he was able to escape via a winch system that actually pulled him under the water. As he went down, you saw that he took a drink of this brackish liquid, gave you the bird, and then sunk below the waves. You then kind of studied the area, found a few more of the vials, weren't sure what they were for, but on the vials it said with a little note, for emergencies only. And before we left off, you guys decided you really wanted to figure out what this was. You thought maybe it would be a cure, and so you opted to head back towards the Temple of the Saviors. And that is where we are going to pick up now. It is still pretty late in the evening. You guys got there, I think if I recall, about 6-ish or so. And so the whole kind of encounter ended around 8-ish later in the evening. And so you're making your way back to the Temple of the Saviors. It's really only about 30 minutes, an hour away from where you are. It's pretty nearby. So I'll say you're walking up to the temple. You see it off in the distance. It is still nighttime, but pretty well lit. And around you do still see that there are these tents. A lot of fires are burning. A lot of torches are out as the nurses are still hopping to and fro trying to take care of patients that are kind of surrounding this temple now. With that being said, what would you like to do, friends?
Well, I guess we should just continue on to try to get inside to, assuming this is the like a vaccine. I guess we should kind of go a little bit sneaky.
Stealthy, baby.
Stealthy, baby. But I'm assuming because it's kind of dark, that kind of helps us out. But yeah, I guess the plan is just to go straight in and make our way up to room 32, 33?
34. 34. You would have gotten there eventually.
That's why I like Horrible Bosses 2 and not just Horrible Bosses 1.
Easier to remember.
Yeah, so I guess just kind of not in haste, but just kind of trying to avoid, I guess if the group is good with it, try to avoid running into anyone or talking to anyone, but just kind of head straight in like we know where we're going.
Sure.
How's that sound?
Confidence. The boon of all things. Right? I don't know. Pretend you know what you're doing, and people will believe you. If I hadn't said I don't know, you would have thought that was a saying of the Lord Helm.
I was very close to buying it.
I can lead the way since I can be stealthy.
This area is pretty well lit, so being stealthy might be difficult, but still a possibility if you guys are trying to.
Look, I'll wait outside. If you're gonna try and be stealthy, catch me up later. I can deal with some people out here or something. Make myself useful.
Yeah, and also the people in this area would recognize you. Like you didn't leave that long ago, and you know.
Yeah.
A group of people walking around would be. You left an impression. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we definitely got off on a bad foot with the, what was it, guard there? Guard nurse?
Janet. Just a nurse.
Yeah.
Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
All right, I say we at least go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go.
So you guys walk up. You head into the temple. No one stops you. You do see Jethro. He's busy though. He's not really making a fuss of you being there. He's seriously distracted with what's going on.
That guy's thick as a brick.
And you keep walking up. You head up the stairs. You go towards the back. You do see Janet, who kind of rolls her eyes as you walk past, and she is like staring daggers at Thad. But she, knowing now that you are with Fenrisha, she allows you to continue up the stairs, and you make your way to room 34, and you go in, and as expected, you still see Fenrisha lying there. It's only been a few hours since you've left her. She's about in the same state, so still has the bandages on, unable to see. Her state hasn't depreciated at all, really. And if anything, she's probably in better spirits than when you first found her, because you did try a little bit of healing just to give her a little bit more sustenance, as it were. So for the most part, she's still there and still pretty aware. And as you walk in, she kind of hears you and says, "Oh, well, welcome back."
Fenrisha,
We bring glad tidings.
Oh. Okay. What's the deal?
We have found something we believe might be a vaccine of sorts.
Oh, that's interesting. How do you think?
We discovered it in the hands of guards prowling around the the lake who seemed to take it to ward off sickness.
Oh. Well, it's certainly the first time hearing it. Have you had a chance to test it or give it to Jethro, perhaps, or anyone that might be able to use it?
We wanted to give it to you, I think.
Oh, I mean, unless you've tested it, maybe I'm being cynical, but I'm not a fan of taking things that I don't know what they'll do. I'm not
You have to
desperate
lose.
just yet.
Since sometimes you're in quarantine for 7 months and you'll do whatever it takes.
While I've heard of that, I've only had this disease for a few days now. There's others in a worse state than I am.
In that case,
If you know for sure it's a cure, then I'll take it. But if you're still testing it,
We don't know for sure, but we highly suspect, based off of how we retrieved it, we saw someone taking it before entering the lake where we think the disease is coming from.
okay.
So it's probably a way of keeping them immune to it. So we were thinking, as a gesture, since you were so nice to us with some information, we were hoping to help you out, knowing the outcome of this current disease.
I hate to tempt fate, but what's the worst that could happen?
I guess that's fair. Probably be dead soon anyway. Do you mind if I?
No offense. I apologize if that offended you.
So who has the vial?
I think we have a number of them. Do we put some in the bag of holding?
I think you did take a few. I think there was like 4 total. I don't remember the exact.
Yeah,
number.
it was like 4 or 5.
5
We
total.
found more in the boats.
So you give it to
So maybe I.
whoever's got it.
Maybe me.
I think it was you. If you have the bag,
I
you
think I have
probably
it.
have it. So you give it to her, and she kind of like fumbles around for it as like she feels where your hand is. She takes it from you and she unstoppers it, and she kind of smells it, and she says, "Well, certainly smells pretty strange for a cure. Kind of salty." And she takes a big swig. Hold on one second.
Whoa, cameo!
oh,
An apparition.
we can't be laughing at a crying child.
And Nate's like, no, you can't. Aw. Oh, double cameo.
We just need Maggie for the whole family.
Can we guess what the tears are about?
Broken toy.
I was going to say Henry has very low hit points in his game.
Oh man.
Oh,
All
I was
right.
hoping one of the kids would just step in and DM.
Just like, all right. Roll a d20 for initiative. Just makes us battle. Guys, what's going on?
I don't know what's going on with Jesse. How have you been, dude?
Good. It's my birthday.
Holy shit!
Coming Tuesday.
That's right!
Not today.
Happy
Not today.
birthday.
But coming up.
What are you doing to celebrate?
Rio. You know, whatever I can. It's gonna be weird because air quality in California is still pretty bad. But I think we're gonna try and everything's closed. But we're gonna try and take a drive up the coast, like up to Oxnard and Santa Barbara.
Oh,
Kinda
that's
like-
cool.
Stop at whatever restaurant we can find and hit the beach.
Yeah, dude.
As long as it's not crowded.
Do you and
Taking
Emily
that thing
share a
seriously.
car?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude.
Because I don't really use a car. Honestly, our car has sat in our like car park for, unused for the past 7 months.
For a while.
I go to the store twice, and it's 5 blocks that way.
Not much to do.
Being there
Boy.
with the fires.
Yeah. It's not as bad as the pictures that you see, probably.
Oh, that's good.
it just kind of looks like dusk all the time.
Yeah. Today is better. It was really bad like earlier in the week.
Yeah, I can actually see the blue sky.
Oh, hell
Sorry.
yeah.
We get.
Oh no, that's all good. I mean, it was my spawn's fault, so I blame them for most things anyway.
Evan told me he fled Oregon because it was so bad there.
I mean, it's supposed to be
the
worse
fires are
up in the north.
Yeah.
That's where it's real trouble. Where were we? Oh yeah, okay. So she smells this thing, and she's a little concerned with the scent of it. She says that it smells salty and a little dirty. And she takes a big swig. Kind of chokes it down a little bit, clear that it's there, and she kind of looks over and moves her head. I don't feel any different. Still,
Might not be instant.
she kind of like moves the bandages up, and you can kind of see it's pretty gross in there. Like her eyes are just like covered in this like pus. But she says she's still unable to see.
Let's give it a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll sit with you while we wait for it to take effect.
Do you guys want to ask anything or talk about anything specific while you're waiting?
Well, I feel like is there any mission that we need to be on at this moment? I feel like it seems a little static.
I heavily expect this vial.
Could do we, because it is kind of like around like 8 or so, right, Nate? You said, I think the time wise.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go to bed? Do we want to take a little bit of a rest? Thinking all are also very badly hurt. So if anyone, you know, we can also, if Fenrisha, if it's okay with you, could we, I'm assuming there's a little bit of space, could we just kind of take a load off for the night? And one of us could kind of stay up and maybe see how, if you improve. We don't want to impose, but is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of room in here. You might not be comfortable, but you know, if you don't mind sleeping on the floor and a chair, it's a pretty small space. It's like a studio apartment in Brooklyn.
I like that we're four dudes. We're four friends that have to sleep in makeshift rooms every night.
Well, usually you guys are like camping out in the world.
Wherever we
So I feel like that's the best bet, unless you guys are really opposed to sleeping on the floor. Just to heal us up, because we are all very damaged, and Zunis basically died.
Again.
Again.
I'm a zombie at this point, yeah.
I let my sense of vengeance get the best of me and tried to get a last shot in at the baddie instead of healing you, Zunis. I apologize.
You were so close to getting him, though. You almost got him.
It almost worked.
So who's staying up with her and who's going to sleep?
I'll stay up with her to start, because I want to, with my knowledge of magics, see if I recognize any properties of or effects that are happening that might just, like, to the untrained eye, appear to be nothing.
Okay.
And Dad, how are you hit point wise? You're doing okay, right?
I'm bloodied.
Oh.
So I think everyone
should try
except
and
Rowena took a pretty good amount of damage
Okay.
that last one.
So yeah, if you want to do like kind of and watch, we just want to make sure you can rest up, Thad, to get some energy tonight. But that works.
We can go in a couple shifts for sure.
I don't mind going first with her sitting up.
I'll go second.
So let's do it this way. Rowena, do you want to ask her any questions or do anything while you're up, since you're kind of the...
Yes, I would like to ask her to tell me about the gossip and what.
Well, there's a lot. Word on the street is the mine in Griffin collapsed, which is troubling.
I may have heard a thing or two about that.
She kind of chuckles and she goes, "I know, dear. I'm part of the Erzatsarai. Don't forget that." She has a little chuckle as she realizes that. And for a moment, you're kind of taken aback because you remember just a few hours ago you felt a tinge of pain seeing this like person in front of you suffering and saddened for her loss, and then all of a sudden you remember oh, I'm opposed to these people. I'm fighting these people. How am I starting to find some sympathy here? But it's an interesting juxtaposition. But she shares a few other things that are happening. A little bit more about Forward Motion Solutions, the upstart company happening in their dealings and what they've been doing. She shares that the company's actually run by three younger folks. Two of them are related, brother and sister. They've kind of like popped in the scene with some really cool things, and their claim to fame is that their airships are actually smaller and have been trying to create more of like land travel vehicles than actually like big island to island vehicles. She goes over a little bit of that. A few other things happening from the Central Islands, kind of the big three ones where most of the governance happens. And that's about what she shares in that time frame as you guys are kind of talking through some things.
Thank you for the information. It's nice to get to know you.
Yeah. I was a little surprised when I found out who you were after you left. But I guess in the meantime, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I suppose.
I'll say. And, you know, I don't necessarily agree with the Erzatzrai philosophically, but so far they haven't left destruction in their wake quite the way Jackson and Lena have.
That's true. I mean, I'm sure by now you've realized we're not evil. We just have to make tough choices sometimes, I guess.
Everybody does.
It's very true. It's very true. I'm looking at the chat. It's funny. But she kind of like stays there and you kind of watch for a bit. Do me a favor. Actually, what's your passive perception? Let me just check something.
One sec. Let me find it.
Rowena.
It is 15.
15?
Yes.
Hard to make out, but you see a little, like a tiny little shimmer of energy. It's hard to say. Maybe just a glint on the back of her neck. And it looks like it's these three lines.
Weird. I see 3 lines shimmering on the back of your neck.
Oh, I don't feel anything. And like she puts her hands over it and doesn't seem to be interacting at all. Maybe just covering a little bit of it. That's about it. Yeah,
So those weren't there before?
I don't think so. I've never had them.
I'm afraid I'm no doctor.
It's all right. Maybe it just takes a little bit longer than we were expecting. She kind of like turns off. I think I'll just catch some set eye though. She kind of starts to go to sleep as well. You hear her cough a little bit in her sleep as she kind of like tries to find a comfortable angle, adjust the bandages a bit, and kind of nods off. Thad, as you sleep, can you do me a favor and roll a religion check for me?
Yes. 12.
So you still manage to stay sleeping, but your sleep is not troubled, just busy. Your brain is super active as you're sinking through things, and you consistently keep having these visions that at first don't make a lot of sense, and then as your brain starts to focus on them more and you're kind of in that mid-sleep, you start to get more of the understanding of the images that you're seeing, and you recognize some imagery that starts to pop up. The biggest one is the symbol of Helm, and you see this gauntleted hand just kind of in front of you. And the hand like almost looks like it's going to grab you and kind of lift you up. And as it kind of starts to move through you and like kind of go past you, it circles back around, gets in front of you, and you see that it's holding this crumpled piece of paper. And you don't recognize the paper at first, but when it opens up, you remember it to be the letter that Watcher Sim wrote to you before you left. As if Helm is trying to get you to pay attention to this and get you to see it. As that starts to fade and it kind of starts to go dark, just that last little bit, what you see is this pile of world spikes. And it looks like there are hundreds, maybe thousands, in this huge pile that you can see. And as your kind of consciousness starts to come to you and you're about to wake up, you actually see that the islands are not like falling, but that they don't seem stable. They seem to be shaky and starting to break. And actually, what did you roll, a 12?
12, yes.
It's very faint, but as you can actually see that pile of world spikes. Around the pile of world spikes seem to be the visage of a golden dragon.
Okay. Trippy, man.
And then you wake up for the next day.
Anybody have any weird dreams where their brains were very busy last night?
Oh, dude, let me tell you how busy this brain of mine was. I'll tell the group about what kind of transpired.
For the record,
And-
Zeus asks us that every morning.
Since Zunis had his own like vision quest in like the third game, it's been that question the whole time.
And then can I check in on our patient and see what's up with her?
Are you try? She's still asleep, but you can pass off to Rowena. Rowena can go nap now if she likes as well.
Yes, I'll go to sleep.
I'll say at this point too, everyone can go ahead and do a long rest on their character sheet so you can get your stats back.
Nice.
But Fenrisha / Callanway is asleep on the bed in front of you still.
Cool. I'm going to, while I'm sitting there, I'm going to mull over what I've seen, and
If you need
perhaps in a moment of... Sorry?
if you need the text of the letter, in case I have it still.
I remember it was something about they know. I'm sure it's in the chat.
Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot that Tion took it from Ivo when Ivo kind of showed it to him. But Ivo, can you do me a favor? Can you roll a history check? You're still sleeping. I'm gonna retcon a little bit.
One.
Oh. Yeah, you don't remember anything on that letter except they know. But you do remember who wrote the letter, so you have that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can I use the Mirror of the Past
Sure.
on the vial to see if I can discern anything of its origins?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So you stare in the Mirror of the Past as you're up, kind of looking through it. And as usual, the Mirror of the Past just gives you these kind of vague images of what it is. That being said, this thing in front of you is not particularly complex. And you actually get a pretty good set of images that are very clear because this was made relatively recently. And what you actually see is it appears to be an alchemist or a doctor of some type, and he's pouring chemicals next to each other and kind of putting them in there. You see that first, and then the next scene, you actually see a few soldiers drinking similar vials, and they dive into the water. And then the next scene, you actually get them under the water, swimming around, and it looks as though, based on the amount of light in this image, that a few hours have passed. And they're still underwater this whole time.
Very nice. Very interesting.
Roll a What tools? You're proficient with Mason's tools, I'm guessing.
Actually, brewer's tools.
Oh, okay, I'll give that to you. Roll a Arcana check. Or are you proficient in Arcana?
I'm not. I'm proficient in medicine.
Just roll a d20 and add your proficiency bonus for the tools.
Okay, cool. Yes. Oh. If I'm not mistaken, my proficiency bonus is 2.
I think at your level you are correct. It should be right on the top of your sheet.
Oh, it's 3.
3, perfect.
So that will bring me to a 12.
You get a pretty good sense of what this is. And I'll say that you also see the 3 lines that are kind of on the back shimmering very faintly, almost as if they're not there. This is a potion of water breathing, and it allows you to breathe underwater. And the lines that you were seeing on Fenrish's neck were magical gills, basically. And it seems as though the emergency was, if we need to get the fug out, or for whatever reason, go into the lake.
Excellent.
Shit.
Information. That is probably all that I need to do during my watch.
Cool.
So is it morning now? Or is everyone all rested? Or
Does anyone else want to do anything before it's morning, or do they want to do anything before morning came? Just beforehand? Feeling good? Cool. Then yeah, it is the morning. Unless I see Ivo's face, I just want to make sure.
No, I was thinking of anything. I don't need to ask her anything. So, no, we're good.
Cool.
Or I don't need to contemplate anything, I should say, because I know she's asleep. Yeah, I'm good for the morning.
Awesome. So you guys do awaken into the morning. As you see, you guys went to bed relatively early, so it's pretty early in the day. I'd say 5 a.m. Or as I just made this rule set. Hold on one second. I can actually tell you. Let me go to my wonderful wiki that I just made.
Early bird catches the worm. We got to get going.
What did I call that? Time. It is 5 ST, which means sun time, and sun time means it is AM. It's a very clever system that I made.
Is that
empty?
Yes, empty is the later time frame. Although usually Yarn functions on a 24-hour clock, so just saying, but it's all right.
What is sunset for Yaren on this date? Or sunrise, I should say.
It would be just about now. Although, again, Yaren's a pretty rainy, cloudy place. So while there is light, it's still pretty gray.
Does Yaren do daylight savings time?
Yaren does not. Do that on purpose. There is no daylight savings time in Yaren, nor should there be in the world.
Well, you live in the only place where there is.
Which is why I like it here.
So as we all wake up, kind of rouse up, I say to the group, well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news.
What's up, man?
Let's
Bad
do,
news is...
yeah, let's do good news.
Which do you want first?
No, good news.
The good news is the potion that we gave to our friend over here is very, very useful.
And the bad news?
It definitely is not going to cure her.
I feel horrible.
It was worth a shot.
Wait, what do you mean, Thad?
So I had a bit of a vision last night. It was a very eventful night for me, but I also investigated the vials and saw the past of it, saw its history, and learned that it is a potion to help individuals breathe underwater.
Huh.
So She's dying, but she can breathe underwater.
She wouldn't die if we threw her in a lake.
This is a really one of those glass half full or half empty.
Who's gonna tell her?
Well, I mean, do we have to tell her anything? We could always just, call me crazy, but we could always leave, perhaps even before she wakes up. Turn to the lake.
Bad. I know
Turn to the lake.
Your typical, how you typically leave sleeping ladies, but
For all we know, the cure to her ailment is in the bottom of the lake. So why don't we follow the Dragonborn there and see where it leads, and perhaps we'll find a cure and bring it back to her.
Oh, so you're saying we take the drink ourselves and get gills?
I've already got gills.
Zunis has gills, and we have 4 potions. There are 4 of us who do not breathe underwater, and if Dent is with us, I don't even presume to know how he breathes.
Dent's back with in the temple, right? Or the
Watcher.
Yeah.
Is he with the Watchers?
He's at the Erzatz complex still.
That's right.
He stayed behind with Supervisor Ormond.
Right.
You do have Firo with you, though, technically, still.
Yes. So there we go, 4.
That's 4.
But you don't know if Firo will go with you, by the way. He slept outside, just a heads up. He did not like sleeping in there, because he's tall. He's like almost 8 feet tall.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. I like where your head's at, that. I do feel somewhat bad that we might have prematurely told this lady that she was going to be okay.
I've always said, what's the worst that could happen? This isn't the worst.
He'll eventually be okay.
I'm so close to encountering Lena and killing her, but we're not these kind of people who would just leave somebody dying like this, especially someone who's been sort of allied to us.
Right, but we're not leaving her. We're saying see you later so that we can get a cure for her and we'll be back. I feel confident that this will lead us to Jackson and Lena as well.
That's true. I'm just being selfish.
I think you're right, that I just like the irony that this woman hasn't met us, and within the past 24 hours, we busted in twice on her dying, given her a vaccine that we told her would cure her, but really just comes her gills. We slept on her floor, kind of unannounced, and then now we're gonna peace out before she wakes up.
She'll have a great end of her life.
Well, I'm gonna hang out and say sorry as well, but I see no harm in leaving at the moment.
Maybe we leave a note so we don't wake her up.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, what do we write? What do we say?
Well, we just tell her that the vaccine's not what we thought of.
Another lead. We don't even have to tell her that. I mean, we can, sure.
Dear friend.
Dear friend.
All right, let's let Rowena pen this.
Okay.
Yeah, she's good. She's a wordsmith.
I'm really just a simple thief, but all right. I would like to. Do I have any parchment on me?
Yeah, does she have a feather to write with?
I don't think you do. Let me check. I'm sure one of you does. And you're also in a place where there would be a desk, so it's not like you can't find something around. So I'll just say you find some stuff, and then I'll decide if you have stuff on you after that.
I have playing cards.
I'll say, yeah, you don't have anything on you, but you do find some paper and some cut-up quills that you can use to write a message on her desk.
Is there a candle? This will come in later.
There is. It is unlit, though.
All right. I would like to light it with my... I have something.
Sure. Yeah, get a light going. There's stuff around. Most of the
Oh,
stuff.
I own a candle.
Yeah.
All right. So first I start the candle burning. Then I write, Dear Fenrisha / what was her other name?
Callanway.
Callanway. We are so sorry for the trouble we've caused you. We have discovered that
perhaps you were right. Perhaps this isn't a cure after all. However, we believe that it gives one gills so that one can breathe underwater. And because of this, we are going to take our talents to the lake with the belief that we can find a cure there. We will not forget about you. Trust me. If we had other plans, we would have gone and done them by now. But strange bedfellows though we are, we believe our mission is ultimately good and yours is ultimately good, and we will not leave you to die. Your new friends, Rowena, Thad, Ivo, Firo, and Zunis.
Wow. I was expecting everyone to get a name before. Cogburn.
And Bettany and Watcher Sim.
Zoom.
All right, and then wait, I take my signet ring, which is my most prized possession because it signifies my family, and I pour the wax from the candle on the paper and I press the ring into it as a symbol.
Nice, classy touch. All right, so you do leave it, and you guys are, I assume, from here going somewhere else, or are you doing anything else before you leave?
Let's see, we're healed up. I think we're good to go. I mean, do you guys want to grab a little chow before we venture into the lake?
Let's go to the hospital cafeteria.
Yeah.
Get some very mediocre food.
If I recall, I have 10 days of beef jerky.
You do. That is true. That you stole from the Urzatsarai. So you go downstairs. There are still nurses around, and while there's not quite a cafeteria, there is a bit of like a mess area, and it's just oatmeal and bread. That is breakfast with like a touch of honey.
Delicious.
But that's what you guys get. It's not very tasty, but it is nutritious and filling.
Does the job.
Yep. And you make your way back to the abandoned fishing hut that is now in tatters after you got it. It is still damaged. No one has been around to clean anything. I'll say with your passive perception, though, most of you can notice this. It seems as though any remnants of the insides of the fishing hut have been cleared away.
Is there anybody around? We can. Shall we go inside and investigate a bit more?
There's not really an inside. It's like done.
Is anything else? Like, are the boats moved at all, or it's just what the fishing hut was?
Great question. The boat is not there any longer.
Sorry, I'm looking at the map now. I haven't been doing that. Where are we exactly?
See where it says Temple of the Saviors, and then Seladrine
Yes.
Lake. You're a bit to the northeast-ish area, like the northeast perimeter of the lake, in that space.
Gotcha.
And that's where you were last night when you found Valdru and the Lordless hanging out here.
Right.
Ivo, with those goggles of yours, are you able to look into the depths of the water where Valdru disappeared and see if you can see anything below the surface?
I can give it a shot. Yeah, I'll take a little peek. I'll go up to the kind of the edge of the water and put them on and kind of stare down into it.
Roll a perception check, not at advantage though, because you're trying to see underwater. That would be pretty difficult.
Gotcha. It's not it's cloudy, but it's not raining anymore, right?
Correct.
Wow, that sounds like a song lyric.
6.
The water is way too deep and dark. You get the sense that this lake is hundreds of feet deep. And Rowena would probably know this. Maybe not the exact footage of depth, but this is the deepest lake in almost all of Yaren.
It's not a problem for me, though.
Can you Rowena, because you're from Wadep, Can you roll a history check for me?
Nine.
You know a little bit about this, not a ton. You do know it's a precipitation lake, and it's filled basically in this crater that was formed during the Sundering when the island was raised. There's long been rumors about like old buildings and things under there, but nothing that really stands out. But you do know that this lake is also hundreds of feet deep. It's very deep.
Yeah, guys, this is one of the deepest lakes in Yarn.
Yeah, you feel like you could get down there, but you would need to be prepared. You couldn't just like swim down and come back up, unless maybe you had a potion that did that for you. Which is why, as you're starting to put two and two together here, you realize why they had underwater breathing potions on hand.
Do you think I could go down and investigate?
Oh yeah, you know that you could. Zunis is like, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
I mean,
good to stretch my fins again.
To go investigate down there?
If the butcher headed that way, you shouldn't be going alone.
Agreed.
Valid point. But this is kind of my domain. I don't know how valuable.
Yeah, but it can be all of our domain if we take these potions. Let's take some potions and jump in the frickin' lake.
So, how many did we collect from last time? Was it 4 or 5? Do you remember?
We had 5.
Now you have 4. Okay, I'm gonna add 4 potions of water breathing to your inventory, just so you can keep track of them, Thad.
You got it.
Just so you can kind of see the stats on them as well. Manage equipment. Add. Okay, they should be
in checking out kind of. Thank you. In checking out the dock, so there was like a inch or something, right? That the butcher grabbed onto. What's the state of that? Like, is there anything that we could follow down into the water, or?
So you inspected this last time, so you actually saw that like Valdru on his way down, he cut it. And that's actually how he kind of made it like pull himself down fast. There might be more directly below this area that might maybe point that out. You'd have to kind of look. You do notice this though. The metal portion where the winch attached is not there anymore.
I am curious, if we all go underwater with our gills and everything, will we still have the ability to carry all of our weapons? Should we get in an underwater battle of sorts?
Yes.
So we can bring all of our gear.
Yeah, mechanically, I will say, I think all of you are strong enough to handle that. Actually, let me check Rowena real quick. She'd be the only one. Rowena would probably struggle.
Zunis, what we could do is have you take a preliminary dive. Just go out like 100 meters or whatever, down, see what you can see, and then come back and tell us so that, we don't waste any potions.
I'm already naked. Let's go in.
So Zunis does dive in. And Zunis, you feel like a calm you haven't felt in a while, being underwater.
I'm home. Yeah.
Very, very much so. This feels very much. For a moment, you're almost like overcome with nostalgia and sentiment as you like remember your family and the home you came from 10 years ago and how you ended up on this island without really understanding how or why. But you kind of swallow that feeling and continue on your mission, and it feels really good to be swimming. And you are moving through this water like you are cruising, feeling really good. Can you roll a perception check for me? And it's just going to be a straight check, no disadvantage, because you are at home in the water space.
11.
So if you dive right down below the dock, you do actually see that there looks like there might have been some other equipment here that were meant to guide some of the winch lines. You can kind of follow them down. And you can see until the edge of like your perceptive depth, like how far you can actually see, that there does seem to be almost like guide poles that look like they were pulling the rope or keeping the rope kind of in this space, or this winch line in this space. And you sense that if you can follow it down, it will probably lead you to wherever they came from in the first place. You're not 100% sure, but by the look of it, it looks like it goes all the way down to the bottom of the lake.
All right. I think I've found what I need to find, and I can go back to my colleagues. So I'm going to swim back to the shore.
Sure. Cool. You pop up pretty easily, jump up on the little jetty there, and share that with your friends. Everyone else now is kind of clued into what you saw. Where else would you guys like to go?
I guess I'm curious to ask. So I asked Zunis to confirm, but seems like visibility down there was pretty good. Like, I'm thinking if we all go down and we're not going to lose each other immediately, we're all going to be able to see each other, at least for the, just kind of like in front of us.
I mean, I felt right at home down there. I imagine you guys would too, if you take this potion.
Ivo, you stuck your head down there. You'd be able to see, but it'd be tough. It's very dim. And the deeper you go, you'd lose a light source. So it might be tough. Well, it might be tough for the folks who don't have some type of dark vision to be able to see down there.
Gotcha. Who I think probably. I mean, who else?
I have dark vision, and I also can pretty much, God will let me do shit with light. So I don't think we need to be worried about that.
Even underwater, Thad?
Thanks, God.
Hey, I'm pretty sure God is in the air and underwater and all that stuff, man. I don't know.
So I'm just thinking if we all go down there, making sure we keep track of each other. So Thad, you think that you're going to be able to cast a spell and make it lit for us? Like, just so we can see each other?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I guess follow-up question, is that a good idea?
Yeah, it might be better if we want to have any sense of stealth. Maybe Zunis can hold Rowena's hand or something like that.
I also have
guide.
I also have rope if we want to kind of use that as a kind of a guide to keep us together.
Yeah,
I like
Good
that
idea.
So why don't I have 50 feet of rope? So why don't we plan to all kind of stagger ourselves and hold on to it with So do you, Zunis, do you have an advantage to see down there, or pretty much the same? I guess this is for DM too. Is it this? We have the kind of same, like Zunis won't be able to see any further than I would.
Correct. Zunis and you both rely on dark vision, so you can see in the dark, although it would be shades of gray and still difficult to see. There would still be disadvantage, but because Zunis is used to being underwater, I'm not giving it to him, and because you have those goggles, I'm not giving it to you. But for everybody else, there would be a disadvantage there. And actually, during this conversation, as you're kind of deciding how Rowena can see, Firo kind of pipes up and taps you on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to see down there very well either. Just a heads up."
You want to stay and watch our stuff that we're not bringing down?
I mean, I'm happy to do that. I can go with you. If you're tying a rope around people, might need to put one around me too.
Gotcha.
I also have 50 feet of rope we can use.
Yeah, sounds like we have plenty of rope. And I like how Zunis is so worried about our stuff.
Zunis, what do you have that you're not?
Yeah, what do you have, Zunis?
I just remember all the ASU pickup basketball games where you leave your backpack at the hoop and then your stuff would get stolen.
It's a thing.
That's instilled a sense of anxiety in me for the past 15 years.
Zunis, you would know this. You can take your stuff underneath, and Clayton's work computer did not do him good here. You'd be able to take your stuff underneath. You might need to take some precautions on certain things so they don't get like super soaked. But I would say like you have a bag of holding, which is basically safe from the elements here. Anything that you were worried about being fragile, you could just shove in that and bring with you. But in terms of like your arms and armor, The only one who would really struggle with their strength score trying to swim would be Rowena, but she doesn't carry that much on her anyway.
Already beat the weak link here, guys.
Oh, that's okay. We've been there many times.
Me in every other circumstance, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Wait, did it cut out for you guys too? Or was that just me?
It was just you.
Firo, do you have a bad feeling about this, or you just don't really think you're proficient in going underwater and swimming?
I mean, I've gone swimming before, but never anything that far down. And, it's natural. Nature is certainly my domain, but I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be able to see if it's dark. I can't. I can't see that well, like some of you can.
I mean, we put you in a blindfold last game, so we can't do this to you again.
Can
I can hold
Firo's
hand just like Zunus will hold my hand?
Sure. And he sticks out his hand, and it's huge. Like Firo is tall and beefy. Your hand is barely enough to grasp on 3 fingers maybe total of his. It's a big blue cow man, basically.
I'm picturing a heifer from Rocco's Modern Life now.
So
all
are
right,
we using the rope, or all just holding on to each other?
We should definitely use the rope.
I think we're using the rope, yeah.
Yeah, definitely use the rope. Because I feel like we're going to go deep and it's going to get dark.
Yeah, and I won't cast light yet, but if things get hairy, I'll have it ready.
Perfect. And I'm good to go first also, DM.
Cool. So you guys tie the rope. Can I have you do me a favor? Who's tying the ropes to each other? Who's kind of owning that process?
I'll go ahead and do it.
Can you roll
I know I have good...
Can you roll a good survival check for me?
Oh, survival. Oh, there is.
You need some help with those?
There?
Ivo, how confident are you feeling about these knots?
Ooh, 15.
They do feel. He feels pretty confident about them. They seem tight and well done. And they have a nice little slip knot on there, so they're not unable to come off when you don't want them to, or when you want them to come off. And they seem pretty good, and you've got enough slack between them. It's 50 feet of rope, and everyone's tied to a rope, or just Fira. Okay, so if everyone's tied, I'll say with that much rope, there's really only enough space for maybe about 4 feet of distance between each of you. So you're pretty close together.
Okay, I think that's fine.
My only worry is if, Valdru grabs one of us, then he's got all of us, and kind of shake us and knock us like coconuts.
That's a good point.
But we won't be separated at the very least.
And I don't know, Valdru, I feel like Valdru is a dragonborn. He breathes fire. This is not his element either. So I don't think he's going to be ambushing us in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm banking on the fact that there's something down there that is going to make someone like Valdru comfortable.
Agreed.
All right.
Guys,
let's go for a dip.
So you guys go in. You start swimming. Have you guys taken the potions, by the way? Who's taken the potions if you have? Okay, so Fad's taken one.
I have not.
You have not. Okay. So
I think everyone should.
Yeah, everyone should.
Yeah.
Should I take it?
Except Zunus.
Yeah, I don't think I need it.
You don't need
Except
it.
you.
Okay, so Firo takes one, Rowena takes one, Ivo takes one. So what is that? 4? Yeah, 4 people. So that's all of the potions you have left. So you finished them all. You're not exactly sure how long it lasts, but it didn't last as long as the full shift of night. So you guess maybe less than an hour-ish, maybe somewhere around there before it's going to wear off. So you start swimming down, trying to make your way as quickly as you can. It's pretty tough work. You're not moving very quickly, Most of you can't swim as fast as Zunis, who can really swim almost as fast as he can run. But you guys are really just barely getting through it. But as you start to see in this underwater space, you start to notice a few bits of the, terrain kind of move with you. You're kind of following these little rings and grooves that you've seen on the kind of seafloor, or like the wall as it's leading there, trying to follow it, kind of pointing out where Zunis saw he thought the winch line went. And you're following, and it's probably been about 20 minutes now, and this super surreal feeling of like I can breathe underwater. It feels very out of place for most of you. Zunis is like all thumbs and smiles, though. It's great. You're just moving through. You see some fish rolling around. Ivo, since you're in front, I'd like you to roll a perception check for me.
Okay. I'm doing this at advantage or at disadvantage?
Just straight, because you have your goggles on still. So say that cancels out the disadvantage you normally would get.
16.
Off in the distance, you can see a rectangular shadow. It's a little hard to see because you're not used to seeing underwater, but your vision's pretty good. And it seems like there's a big shape off kind of below you, and you feel like you're moving in the right direction. As you're swimming, you also see off in the distance, further than this shadow, a moving shape through the water. And at this point, as you look up, you realize it's really hard to tell where the surface is now. You guys are probably about halfway down before you can spot really where you came from. And you guess you're probably about 200, 300 feet below now. It's taken you a half hour-ish just to get about to the halfway point, you think. And off in the distance, kind of floating through amongst the fishes and things, you see like the shape of some turtles swimming around. You see the shape of some other creatures. But off even further than that, there is a bigger shape that's moving. And that one, you think, maybe had a fin. It was pretty big and hard to tell. But while we're doing that, let me show you a little bit more of what you guys are starting to come to.
I'm wondering if this was the planned or not planned journey.
We'll find out at the end. Seladrine.
Can we speak with each other underwater?
Because you can breathe, yes.
So we can hear as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just normal communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, let's. Get rid of this overlay. Presenting. All right, so this is about what you see, and you are underwater at this point. And as you're starting to move through, you see that shape that you were starting to see in the distance looks like a building, like the top of a crumbled structure. And it's a pretty large building. What's left of it, what's left still standing, is not as much as the whole building used to be. And it's hard to make up color underwater when it's this dark. I mean, really, for Rowena, you can't see anything. Firo can't see anything. Pretty much all of the light from the sun has been dimmed almost to nothing at this point. But you do, for the rest of you do see this shape starting to get more as you see it. And you're starting to see the actual sea floor now as you're starting to float kind of closer down to this, kind of pulling yourselves through. As you get closer, you notice that this looks like it might have been a temple of some type. You can see that it's well maintained. And the cold waters of Seladrine Lake are surrounding you now at this point, and it's just this consistent cold and this cold and darkness around you, and you keep trying to pull yourself deeper as the light above just wanes more and more. And you're unsure of what's to come, so you just keep swimming forward, hoping for clues and hints that validate you're moving in the right direction. And it just feels like you can't go much further. You kind of feel the effects of the water-breathing potion starting to wear off. But finally, this building starts to solidify more and more in front of you. On this building that's relatively square, there do seem to be towers protruding up from it, as if they were kind of spires when this thing used to be above the water line. A couple of them seem to be relatively intact. One seems sort of destroyed. Like you can see that like it's kind of half up, half down. There is water inside of it. And another one is just completely demolished. So in order so you can kind of get a sense of what you're looking at on the map, the two on the left of your map here are the intact towers.
Those are the white ones?
The two all the way to the left. So both of the ones on the left side, one is blue, one is white.
Oh, gotcha.
And then the two on the right, the top one is the completely destroyed one, and the bottom one is partially destroyed. Both of which are flooded, and like there's water inside in that area. You can't tell if there is water inside the other two spires because they are still intact. But that's a bit of what you see at this point.
Well, I think we found something interesting. Let's. You guys are all interested in taking a closer look?
Let's do it.
Reminds me of home.
So you're trying to move there again, Zunis. It's pretty hard for you to move. You're moving as slow as like the rest of the group can move, so it's really only about 15 feet every few seconds or so. You're not going really quickly, but you're swimming there, kind of pulling yourself in that direction, and you see there's sea life down here. There's fish, there's kelp and seaweed and plant life. You do see the occasional like crab walking on the ocean floor or the sea floor. Sorry, the lake bed here. So it's a pretty thriving ecosystem down here. Are you going all the way to the bottom? Or are you trying to check out anything specific?
I'm curious, can I communicate with fish?
You actually can.
Maybe I want to speak to a crab.
Okay. There is a crab on the seafloor or on the lake bed, so you can if you'd like.
Hey, I speak crab.
Well, that's fucking weird.
Well, you probably weren't expecting to talk to anybody today, but
I wasn't expecting to talk to anybody but my family. But if you're here now, that's fine.
Well, we were curious about these little buildings and what their history within this area is. If anything unusual is happening with them.
What's a building?
These like structures. You see those like almost temple-like things.
You mean the big white rocks over there?
Yeah. Do those have any meaning to you?
I don't know if they have like meaning, but I would avoid the front because there's some fucking eels over there and they're mean.
Cool. Good to know. Have you seen any like really big people underwater recently by any chance?
Big people. Yeah. Actually, I did see some yabo coming down not that long ago. Looked like a lizard, but he had legs. And some stuff. He went in that building over there. Actually, that's what you called it, right? A building.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That was very helpful.
Yeah, I'm a nice guy.
You seem very kind. I'm glad that you have a family as well.
Yeah, I got like 600 kids I'm trying to take care of. So if you don't need anything else from me, I'm going to get on to my day.
I actually kind of want you to stay for the rest of our mission. If you...
Don't know how much help I'll be, but if there's something in it for me, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, what's your name?
What's my name? My name's Scrounger, I guess is probably the best way you'd say it. Scrounger.
Well, Scrounger, we're gonna go in to these temples and we'll see if we can get something for you out of this.
Yeah, I like little fish. I eat some of those. The kids like the shells. I could certainly use them too. But all around, it's all good.
All right, well, we'll round up little fish for you afterwards. We
Sounds
just need
good.
your guidance.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Around. Yeah, I think little tit for tat, click for clack, as us crabs say.
That's the most beautiful thing you've ever said. All right, Scrounger, show us. We want to sneak in. We don't want to make too much of an impression.
Wait, can the rest of us understand what Scrounger is saying, or just Zunis?
Just Zunis and Firo. Firo doesn't know exactly what he said, but he kind of gets the gist.
All right, guys. This guy, Scrounger, is this crab, and he and I had a little conversation, and he said that he saw what I assume is Valdru in one of these temples, and there are eels, I believe he said as well. So
yeah, fucking eels. They're mean and big.
Yeah, so we're in for a challenge here, but he knows his way around, and he's going to help us if we get him little fish in return.
I mean, I'll show you how to get in and avoid the trouble, but I'm not going to go in there for you unless... Do you really want me to go in there with you?
Yeah, I mean, you do have 600 kids, so I do feel a little guilty.
I don't want to put him in danger if he's got...
Do you
want to just had 500 kids?
You say that the lizard went in and then left, or did he go in and not come out?
I think he's still in there, right, Scrounger?
I didn't see him come out. You know, I mean, Crab's got to sleep too, but I did see him go in there. But I didn't see him. I didn't see him come back out. No.
Has there been a lot of talk about this lizard guy in this area?
Oh yeah, he's been the talk of the town, man. Not a lot of people come down here that often. You know, usually we just see those big floaty circle things just head up and down from this place every now and then, but never any peoples.
What do you mean by big floaty circle things?
I don't know. It's a big floaty circle thing. What do you guys call them?
I think he means boat.
No, I know what a boat is. A boat killed my cousin once. It was real sad. No, this thing was round and like a circle, but made of wood.
Like a buoy or a barrel. Remember all the shit that was in the cabin?
That might be it.
Zunis, ask him if there was a symbol on it, like the Erzatz.
Did you see any kind of artwork or logo on it?
I did see maybe an image, but not. I mean, not anything that really stood out. It looked like it had 3 drops of water put in like a little triangle shape.
Okay, 3 drops of water put in a little triangle shape is what he said.
Very interesting.
The logo was. All right, well, please show us the way, like you said.
Okay. I'm going to try to take you the way so you guys avoid old Sawtooth. I think we saw him swimming not that long ago. That's a
Thank you.
big fucking shark, so I'm going to do my best to just avoid that guy too.
Can we communicate with the shark? I'm sure we probably don't want to. I don't think he's
You could try. You could try. I mean, you really, your ability is more to communicate like simple ideas with them. So really having a conversation is not super likely. It depends on the creature and how much they're willing to share back with you. But you know, it's not like a full-on conversation, so to speak, because you're already kind of learning from Scrounger. It's more of like simple concepts. Maybe a command here and there. But you could try.
Perfect.
If you wanted to.
Nah, Scrounger's enough.
Okay.
More action, less exposition.
So he does kind of walk up to the side of one of the spires, and he goes to the one on the lower left, and he says, "This is the one I saw him head into after he got down here. So apparently there's a hole around back he swam in, but he didn't come out. So I don't know if he's still in there dead or what, but." You seem pretty handy down here, so.
All right. Did Ivo and Dad leave us, by the way?
I think.
No, I'm here. My camera.
His camera's just off. I just have it set where his camera's not showing. Let me see if I can change that real quick.
I'm eating dinner also, so I didn't want to eat food on the camera. So, but I'm around. I am present.
We want to see it. No.
All right, so
I'm just glad he didn't miss Scrounger. I'm so proud of.
Wait, is it Scrounger or Scrounger?
It's Scrounger with an ER, duh.
Now you speak his language.
I feel like this is appropriation of my people.
I write what I know, or what I hear. So Scrounger does manage to show you that there is like on this tower, there are like this one that's still intact. While the top is relatively intact, if you actually go down a little bit, kind of midway through, there are some holes in the stonework where it looks like you could probably swim through pretty easily. You actually notice that a similar kind of thing is on that second one as well, the one on top, or the kind of the one on top of the map. So both seem like you could swim into them and search, but the one he said Valdru headed in was this one.
I say we go with the former, not the one that Valdru swam in.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
I'll do whatever the group does, but I think if we don't get more potions, we're going to be in trouble, and Valdru would go where he wouldn't be in trouble.
Yeah, you have probably about maybe 20 minutes left down here.
Oh, God. All right. I didn't realize it was that life or death. All right, so I guess, yeah, let's go to where we think the potions may be with Valdru.
Can I have... Who's bringing up the rear?
I don't know what the order is.
I know Ivo said he wanted to go first. Firo and Rowena are kind of tied. I assume in the middle.
Yep.
Probably, yeah, either Thad or Zunis. Would be maybe Thad, because he could always kind of cast light in case we needed it to kind of put him as the caboose.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Thad, it's all you, baby.
So Thad, can I have you roll a perception check?
You may.
Or actually, I should say, what's your passive perception instead? Just as you're kind of swimming.
My passive perception is 18.
Oh, yeah. So actually, off in the distance, you see that same shape that Ivo saw. And now that you're kind of closer to the bottom, you can see that it is a shark. And for the most part, he's avoiding the other creatures. He's probably a good, like, maybe 200 feet away from you guys, maybe even more than that. But you can see him off in the distance swimming. And this is like, this shark is so big, you can't understand how it lives in a lake. But it's big. And I'll say that Zunis mentioned avoiding something called sawtooth.
I did.
And Scrounger, I'll say, adds a little bit more context here for you. Sawtooth is according to the crab, a ancient shark who's lived in this lake forever.
Well, that's
is he deadly?
I mean, he'll eat you. That's pretty deadly.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
so I'd rather go deal with the with the lizard than the shark. So I'm gonna try and push us towards the tower.
I kind of want to pit the shark against the lizard.
Now there's an idea.
I don't know yet. We'll figure that out.
Keep it on the back burner.
I'm sorry, did I think I might have missed something. How do we think that the Dragonborn is staying alive underwater for so long?
With the guild, like he just has an unlimited amount of potion.
Well,
He
took the potion before he jumped in.
Yeah, but I was thinking if ours runs out so quickly, but it could be that he's got all of these vials.
Exactly. I'm hoping there are more vials somewhere. And if not, sorry, y'all.
And that's where we end things.
So at this point, you do see a couple of ways into this temple. The one that Scrounger has pointed out is, here, I'll put it on the map here just to make it a little bit simpler. So the circle in green is where Scrounger has kind of walked you to. This spire that's kind of leading up above the rest of the stonework. of this temple. The ground floor still seems to be intact, but the floors above it look like they've been completely demolished. And you can't see inside of it. Looks like the ceiling is still kind of there. This one also is intact, the one on top. And that one is in much the same condition of the one Scrounger brought you up to. That looks like there's a way in kind of midway up the tower. And then the other two on the other side are pretty much destroyed.
Are we able to see in the ones that are destroyed? Like, are there any shipping containers or, hints of vials?
Sure. Roll a perception check as you're kind of investigating these two.
Yes.
Sounds like there's a party going on in the background of Nate's place.
My wife's friend is over and they're playing with the kids.
Oh.
I got a 6.
I mean, most of the stuff is pretty easy to see. You can still see in the dark. You're swimming around. There definitely doesn't look to be any vials, but on the lower tower on the right side there, you can again see that it's partly destroyed. There is a metal hatch. Looks like you might be able to open it if you're tough enough to pull it against the water pressure. That might lead down below. You're not sure where that would lead, and you don't know if water would get in behind you, which you could try. The one on top is completely demolished, and nothing really of note seems to be there. You do see that there is an entryway, like the original entryway of this temple. I'll mark that in color for you. Let's say this orange space here is where the old entrance used to be. It does look collapsed and broken down. There's a lot of stonework that's fallen there. A big portion of the temple is collapsed here. And this is where Scrounger pointed out that the eels are.
Go there. Eels are not good.
No, thank you to the eels. Is there any sort of would I have? Am I able to see if? Well, no, I don't know. Never mind.
All right. So, are we still debating between going to the top one or the bottom one?
Yeah, the top left or bottom left, I guess.
And Valdru's in the bottom left?
Top.
Is that correct? He's in the top.
Bottom left. That's where he saw him go in.
And that's where we assume the vials are. So, shall we?
Okay.
Why not?
So you guys
gotta save you guys. Yeah.
You guys kind of swim towards that place. Scrounger stays on the lake bed as he sees you go up, and he's like, "Well, good luck." And
Thank you, Scrounger. We'll try to get you some small fish.
Yeah, if I'm around, it's not too much to ask for. Little tip goes a long ways. And kind of scrounges off. And he goes on, "Fucking guys," and he just kind of keeps going. And you do kind of see this area in this space. As you get inside, it is completely filled with water. What you can see inside of this tower is it looks like this might have been like the middle area of this tower that was going down, and it was a room. The room looks like it was built around a circular central area that was walled off. And you can kind of swim up a little bit, and you actually see as you kind of swim up a little bit, there's an air pocket, like through another hole in what used to be the ceiling. Not the roof, but like the ceiling of this floor that you're on. So if you think this tower had like, let's say, I think 4 floors, you kind of swim into the second and third floor area, which is for the most part kind of been broken on the inside. But the very top floor, that 4th floor, the ceiling for the most part was still intact, but there was a hole broken through the floor. And below and above that, it looks like you can kind of see a bit of an air pocket that you can actually climb up into.
All right, let's roll.
Cool. So you managed
air pocket.
To get up into this space, and it is an air pocket that you actually sit in, and it is the top of the tower that is still completely intact. And there were no windows or doors in this place. It was kind of almost like the top conical portion of where this tower existed when it was new and not broken. And you can actually see what that circular area in the center was that you were kind of swimming around. And it was a spiral staircase that led back down. And the spiral staircase is free of water. So it's almost as if this air pocket either created itself just through physics as the water filled up around this temple, or someone else did this. But it actually looks like it's giving you a way to kind of go up and then back down into the temple below.
This is what I'm thinking. This is how Valdru can stay here so long. He's got a little setup.
He's probably in here right now. We got to go sneak attack on him like we did last time. Stay very quiet and we all stay together and investigate.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. So there were 4 floors, so...
Yeah, how many... So, Nate,
mm-hmm.
How many floors are there? Like, could you go through one more time? What floor we're on? Like, where we might be able to...
The towers were taller than the original structure of the temple. They were meant to kind of overlook and kind of form a bit of a perimeter. So the towers were probably about 4 stories tall. The temple itself looked like it might have been 2, maybe 3 stories, but the only floor that looks like it's still intact is the main one. Like there's not even really a roof on the temple anymore. It's just the ceiling of the main floor. You can kind of see like the walls of the 2nd story or maybe even the 3rd story are all crumbled and broken. So water is kind of filled up around it. But you can see that there's still like a 20-foot, story that is still closed off for the most part. And it looks like it has been keeping the water out now that you're inside of it. But the tower is about 4 stories tall. And that's basically how this air pocket formed at its top. And you could take the stairs, you presume, down and hopefully into the actual main floor. But it looks like there's only one floor of the temple from the outside that's still traversable without having to swim.
Okay. So it seems like we should probably head downwards.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys start heading down. And as you're walking through the steps, you start to notice the light here is, again, there really isn't any. Now it's even darker than it was outside. For those who have dark vision, you can see. For those who can't, there is not a way to see in here without some type of aid. Just want to get everything set up here so we have it ready to go.
Oh, baby, another map.
And where are you guys coming in from? 6. Perfect. Okay, let's load that up. Insert party.
Is it really difficult to make these maps, or is it a lot of just like pasting?
It kind of depends on the map. So I will put this out there in the world. You guys came to the place where I was hoping you would.
Yeah,
That's what I figured.
It seems.
Rowena
planned.
mentioned that she wanted to go right after Alina, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have to do this one a different way. So you do get into this tower, and you're on the floor, and again, it's pretty pitch black. There is a door on the end of this spiral staircase. If you've kind of gone down the 4 flights of stairs, thankfully, it doesn't look like there's any water in here. It is a cacophony of sound in this space, though. Like there is just the sound of running water, dripping, sloshing. Like there's water all around you. And this door looks like it's been removed, as if it's meant to just kind of go in. And as you look inside, there actually is a small room that kind of it comes to. And this room looks like it might have been an old dormitory or maybe even rectory, since this was a temple of some type. And it's just filled with broken furniture and ruined beds. There's some nightstands in different states of disarray around there as you see this. It does look like it leads further upwards as well into a couple of connecting chambers that kind of lead you further into the temple as well. If you'd like to keep going or search this place, it's kind of up to you where you want to go from here.
Say we search
So just for the record, we're breathing air, right? We're now out of the
right
water.
now you are out of
air.
the water. You are breathing air. And the, I mean, it won't matter too much, but you probably only have like a couple minutes left of the breathing underwater potion anyway.
So we need to find more stat.
The good thing that we're unless we want to live here forever, I guess.
This is our new home. So, Zunis, if you're searching in this area, you kind of take a time to look through stuff. Most of the stuff is destroyed and ancient. It looks just old. The good news is, while there's a lot of, plant life growing through and like a few like bits of just gross mold and algae that have kind of started to creep in from, you presume, centuries, almost thousands of years, maybe even more so. This place has been underwater. The cold has managed to keep things relatively intact, minus the things that have been destroyed. For folks who have lived on Yaren for a while, and anyone who maybe has proficiency in history, who does have proficiency in history? Let me just check through that real quick.
That's Rowena.
No, not her. Not Ivo. Thad does. Thad, you are kind of connecting dots. You think this temple is pre-sundering, and it is likely that this temple was built before the gods raised the islands, and these things in here probably belong to whoever was there. As Zunis is looking around, you kind of go through some of the nightstand that's still intact. You actually pull open a drawer, and inside you see a letter that looks like it's also very old and basically falling apart in your hands. Most of it's illegible, but there is a little portion of it that's written in Elvish. Can you speak Elvish?
I can.
You can. So you can actually...
I picked up a bunch of languages.
You did. You can actually understand a bit of this letter and what's still readable here. And it says, Coralon, if you cannot save us from this destruction, please welcome us to Arvindor. And it seems like it might be a prayer letter.
Coralon?
Coralon. Corellon.
If you cannot save us from this destruction. Sorry, I'm just putting this in the chat.
Well, thank you.
Please welcome us. What's it?
To Arvindor. Arvandor.
Okay.
And none of you are elves, so you don't know what that means.
And Thad's history check doesn't ring true for any of that.
Is Thad trying to figure out what it is?
Sure. If
Thad, take a look at this letter that I found.
Thad, roll a religion check. And because you're not an elf, at disadvantage.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, elves in Yaren, as we talked about a few sessions ago, are not very popular in Yaren.
18.
I'll give you a little bit. A couple of things stand out. One, the destruction it's referencing is almost certainly the Sundering. So whoever wrote this probably wrote it while the world was being destroyed. The name Coralon is actually the god, like the main god of the Elvish pantheon, which really hasn't been worshipped very heavily in Yaren since the Sundering. And then Arvindor is kind of like the afterlife. Not the afterlife, but like the place where elves go when it's their kind of time to leave the physical world, so to speak. So this is basically like a plea of an ancient elf priest. And I'll give you one more because it's that high. The term Seladrine is a broken version of the word Seladrine. And Seladrine means like the Elvish pantheon. It's the name for the Elvish gods. So this is an ancient elven temple. And the lake that kind of formed around it.
Ancient elven temple.
Huh. Well, don't know much about the history, but I can read everything. Well, I'm happy to do so.
I'll fill you in at some point.
Yeah, based on what you roll.
Interesting.
So other than that, there doesn't seem to be anything else really of note in this space. Most things are broken and damaged. Anywhere else?
I tell everyone.
Yeah, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, I tell everyone that, it seems like the temple's from before the Sundering, but it's obviously been here for a very, very long time, presumably with air. So it seems like a good place for Valdru to camp out.
Are we exhausted at this point?
No. I mean, it took you a while to get in here, but you were breathing normally, and while it might have been, a good hustle to get down here, I wouldn't say you're exhausted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we hear anything?
The thing that you hear the most is just the sound of water. It is ever present in all around you. From dripping puddles. In the space that you actually ended up in, it's relatively dry. There's moisture because obviously there's going to be, and there is some plant life in here, but for the most part, this area of the temple seems to be relatively well preserved. If you're actively trying to hear something, can you roll a perception check for me? And it'll be difficult to hear anything about the water.
So can I do it at advantage though? Now that I'm not submerged.
Well, you want to just normally get advantage. Because it's sight.
Well, I'm wearing the goggles.
Well, if you're hearing this, the goggles are for sight, not for anything you're trying to use perception for sight. Mm-hmm. Not for hearing.
So, gotcha. So advantage for perception, line for sight, not for hearing. Gotcha. 4.
Yeah, nothing really stands out. The things that you can see in front of you, basically this room connects into another. The door in this room has also been removed, and it's not there. But in front of you, there is a little bit of a junction room, and it kind of leads off into two areas. There's an area going further north and an area going to the right. Both of them have their doors and they're shut. The doors look special. They're well carved. They look like they're a mix of metal and stone, mostly stone as the big part of the door, but the hinges and the door frames are metal. And the metal, while now it's pretty rusted and pitted, look like they might have been like well polished and like nice quality, good quality metal when they were new. There's a door going north and a door going to the right. And I'll say with the goggles, you'll be able to see this easily. There's a bit of a pulsing blue glow from the door above you.
Interesting.
I
don't know if we want to inspect that right away.
Didn't we see this someplace before? A pulsing blue glow? It was the bioluminescent stuff in the cave before we did the teleportation to Wada.
Oh yeah.
You did see like a similar stuff. The blue glow was specifically coming from a crystal. You're not sure if they're connected.
Or it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now you don't know is. You just see that there is a bit of a blue glow coming from beyond you.
I say we get a little bit more acquainted with this space, get our bearings a bit more before we get to that blue glow. Not rush into things right away.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Cool.
Walk around a bit more, see if there's anything else of note.
So you guys are trying to go to the right, so to speak.
Yeah, we'll save the blue glow, I say.
So you push open the door, and the door is quite heavy, and it opens up. And you actually open up into what looks like it might have been the original entryway. It looks like it was probably very grand. The walls are, eroded and pitted now. There's a lot of water in here that has kind of started to seep in from the rocks, but for the most part, the collapsing entryway has kept most of it at bay, although there's a pretty deep puddle. In the surrounding area, what you actually see beyond some of the vegetation that's kind of crept in and some of the bits of just debris, you actually do see that there are these two fallen chandeliers that are just covered in rubble. And obviously are not lit right now, but they're just, this is pretty clearly like the space that was meant to walk into and really be taken back. In fact, as you kind of look at the bottom wall that you would have been facing if you had come in through the entrance, it looks like there was probably a really beautiful set of art and carvings here, but have since been removed. Looks like someone took a pickaxe to them or something.
Jeez.
All right. Well, now we know that exists. So
And is there a door on the opposite side of that room? Or?
There is a door directly opposite. It sounds like all of you in there. Thad, did you say your passive perception was 18?
Correct.
So you'd be able to tell this too, and especially as a dwarf and kind of understanding precious materials. You're almost certain while the chandeliers are destroyed and pretty well covered, there's just a glint of gold coming from them.
Ooh. I point out the precious metals to the group.
And these chandeliers are pretty big. Like each one is probably about 5 feet around.
Shall we add to the bag of holding?
You wouldn't be able to fit it in the bag of holding. But if you're trying to clear it out, you can see a little bit more of it. Are you trying to move some of the rubble out of the way?
Yeah, I mean, we're here. Let's investigate. Let's move some rubs.
So you do move some of them out of the way, and you get one of the chandeliers pretty well clear. And for the most part, the chandelier is just destroyed. And you can actually see most of it's already been like broken and cleaned off. And there are these arms that kind of extend from them that are still intact. They were the parts that were kind of under the rubble. The ones that were above the rubble were broken off. And you can really clearly see why now. One of the arms, it maybe isn't solid gold, but was for sure plated in real authentic gold. It's got to be worth something. It is pretty large, though, and you guess maybe kind of holding in your hand 15, 20 pounds each arm. On this chandelier alone, there are 3 arms that you can try to crank off and take.
Some riches.
Yeah, might as well. We risked everything.
Why not? We've got a bag of holding.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll find our bodies.
Zunis, do you think your little crab buddy would like this?
Yeah, this is our little gift.
It's a thingamabob.
Well, we'll say you have 3 golden chandelier arms in your inventory. Are you trying to do the same for the other chandelier too?
Yeah, might as well.
Cool. That one actually had 2 more.
Sure.
So in total, you've gotten 5 chandelier arms.
Should this be put into our inventory manually?
Yes, because it's not a real thing. And again, it's not gold yet. You have to find a way to get it to some currency. So find someone who'll buy it from you. But each one is worth about 100 gold pieces that you can kind of discern. I would say Thad probably can tell that pretty easily.
All right.
Very nice.
Let's. Okay, we're good here. Did we want to go to the other side of that room now?
Want to keep going straight?
Sure. That Thad had pointed out, and then we'll go back to the blue glow.
So you push forward through this another door, which is very heavy. Oh, just so I know too, are you keeping the doors open behind you or closing them?
I'm keeping them open.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, leave them open.
Okay. So you walk into this space, and this space kind of goes off in either direction as well. One above you, one below you. That leads into a couple other rooms. From this distance, you can't really see a lot in them. Both of them seem to have broken down goods. You kind of remember your way outside a little bit, like how you came in. And the bottom one is about where you remember the sort of broken tower, not completely broken tower to be, and the top one seems to be where the completely destroyed tower was. But the sound of rushing water is much louder here. The doors here are also not like the other ones. The doors that were open were actually removed. These ones, the doors are just open.
Gotcha. Well, I think we want to avoid this room, just based on the propensity to water. So
this one in front of you is clear. This one in front of you is clear. You can hear the water quite loudly now, but you don't see like a deluge anywhere.
Do you want to keep pushing forward, Ivo and Thad? Or do you guys want to go back to investigate that blue glow now that we kind of know the lay of the land, sort of? I'm sure there's probably more.
Should actually, let's keep pushing forward a little bit more and then come back to the blue glow.
Rowena, how you feeling about that?
Rowena, yeah. Rowena can't see right now, but we haven't encountered anything bad yet. Should I just light something up for us?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So you cast light.
Yeah, do it.
Let me see if I can get it on the thing so Rowena can see a little bit. Although Rowena can really see on the map anyway, so that won't make much of a difference. So Rowena can see. In front of you, Thad, if you're in that space, you can actually see a little bit better now. The room below you looks like it used to have a bunch of like shelves, bookshelves, bookcases. For the most part, have been destroyed. Hard to say exactly what was there, but you do see that there's a lot more things piled up against the back wall. The room above you looks for the most part cleared off, and looks like it's just the remains of some old crates and barrels. Are you going in any particular direction? And I can give you more context.
Yes. Crate and Barrel, my favorite home goods store.
So you step into this room, and there is a door that goes to the right of you. This one is closed. In this room, it's just broken crates, broken barrels. There are nothing really jumps out at you, even with your pretty perceptive abilities, that would really strike you as valuable. Seems like it might have just been an old storage room.
There's no beds, baths, or is there anything beyond here?
There's nothing beyond. It's all on one of the crates though. It does actually like in like little Elvish script. You can see it says William and Sonoma. It's weird. Maybe they were lovers. No one knows.
Oh man.
Nothing here, team.
Huh. So we're
I get a lot of emails from these people.
So what you see in front of you, there is a door off to the bottom right, and you're pretty confident this door leads to where the ruin tower was from outside, and then you still have the area below you that you haven't explored either.
Shall we check out the area we haven't explored?
Yeah, let's do that.
So you go down, kind of heading through, and again, these doors are intentionally left open, it looks like. They were not removed. And in this space, again, you see that there are bookshelves and broken cases and stuff. For the most part, it looks like things have been kind of cleared out. But there are some carved small figurines still on the floor, kind of shoved in the corner underneath some of this woodwork. Nothing that like jumps out at you as huge or large or precious. Looks like most of them are stone. Maybe metal. Not anything that sparks I need to go check that out. But it does look like there's more there than there were in the other room if you want to go looking through it specifically.
It doesn't seem like there's much. I don't know if more investigation is worth our time here.
I think something's calling us to this blue light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess let's do it. Nothing else kind of came to be.
Yeah. I'm okay to proceed to the blue light.
Okay. So you get to this door that leads to it, and you push through it. I'll move Ivo here. As you get into this space, it kind of opens up into another area, and you see through this chamber now where this blue light is coming from. Let me get that loaded up. So the chamber in front of you is one of the few open spaces that aren't flooded or at least have a significant amount of water inside of the temple. Inside you can see that there are these beautifully carved walls that are honoring the old elven gods that you kind of heard about earlier from the letter. Much the same as everywhere else in the temple, the sound of moving water is ever present in the space. In fact, at the far end of this room, you can see that there is a large puddle on the floor, as if the floor of this room kind of slants in that direction, and most of the water was forced into that area. In the center of that water, of that puddle, there are 3 statues to the Seladrine, the ancient elven gods. And before them is a stone slab with a gently glowing blue crystal sitting on top of it.
Let's check out that crystal.
So, Rowena, where did your character go? There you are. You said you're going to go check out the crystal? Cool. Yep, that's what we said. Awesome. We're going to do that. So you start getting to the crystal to kind of investigate a little bit more, and you walk up to it. As you get within maybe about 5 to 10 feet of it, as you go, you start to notice that it just starts zapping with electricity. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
The game has begun.
Well, damn.
Ooh, 19. I rolled a natural 20 with -1.
Nice.
I got 23.
23. Zunis, what did you say you got again?
19.
19, nice. All right.
12 for Thad.
12 for Thad. And then Ivo? 2? 2. All right.
2.
I need to insert Firo before I forget. Oh, right. It does that now. It's very confused.
If you have a cameo at this point of the game, I would be so impressed. If, like, Katie shows up as a blue goddess or something.
Okay. Just get that going. All right. Start. All right, Rowena. Looks like you're actually going to go first as you see this crystal start to just build with energy upon it. As that happens, behind it, you see these shapes in this water start to kind of form a little bit more as they kind of rise out of it. And they don't really have a head, so to speak, but they have this amorphous body with these liquid tentacles kind of lashing out at them. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
These creatures are made of water.
They seem to be, yes.
I assume I can still hit them with my very corporeal weapons, though, right?
You can give it a shot.
Oh, God. All right. I would like to take out my rapier and stab at L.
At L1. Okay, so that is just the crystal. You're trying to hit the crystal?
An enemy of some sort, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that's like right in front of you, while it's kind of large on that map, that's just the electrical energy kind of pulsing out of this crystal, which you can try to hit if you want to try to hit the crystal. It's up to you.
Hit W2.
W2. Okay, so you swing. Are you trying to hit it with your rapier? And you're just gonna head like right to it, as close as you can get to it.
Yes.
Okay. Roll to hit with your rapier.
Here goes nothing. 12.
12 misses, just misses.
Oh.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Can I back up several
Further
feet
away.
so I'm further away from it?
Yeah. So you back up. If you're gonna get to about here, that would work. Might I suggest you take your bonus action to disengage so you don't draw an opportunity attack?
Like to do that.
Like
Perfect.
to do that.
Do you want to go further back, or is that good?
That's good.
So you notice as you actually step out of that range, now that you kind of get a look at it, the lightning kind of coming out of this crystal doesn't seem like it can extend very far. Looks like maybe about 10-ish feet or so is as far as the lightning kind of like percolate around. But that'll end your turn and bring us to one of these water creatures. It'll be this first one. And he is just going to move forward to the creature that triggered the crystal, and that is Rowena. So the first thing he's going to do...
Are these sentient beings, or are they just...
we'll come to that on your turn. We'll see if we can give you a little extra. This first one is going to try and just kind of like grapple his watery tentacles around you and hold you in space. He does hit. So you actually take 13 points of damage from this creature. And you need to make a athletic saving throw or a dexterity saving throw. You can pick. Strength saving throw.
Dexterity.
Yep, go for it.
8.
Yeah, he's got you grappled, so he is literally holding on to you. You can't quite get away from him. You are restrained. As he's grappling you, you're finding that he keeps trying to put the watery tentacles like over your mouth and into your lungs. But that'll end his turn, and that'll bring us to Zunis.
I think I've got to attack this guy. Is it W2?
Yes, W2 is the one that's attacking Rowena.
Thank you, Zin.
Should I do somewhat of an unarmed strike where I just try to grab him off, like from behind, or should I try with the weapon?
Do me a favor, roll a nature check and roll it at advantage because this is a water creature you would understand. See how much of this you can pull away.
All right, my first D20 was 11.
Let's go, Fishman.
Second one was a hot 10, so 11.
11. There's enough to know what this is, a little bit of what it looks like. This is some type of elemental water creature. You're not 100% sure exactly what it is, but you get the sense that while it's made of water, it's going to be really hard to like grab physically a hold of this thing. You also get the sense that unless you can attack this with something magical, it's going to be... It's probably not going to do as much damage as you're hoping for.
Gotcha.
And are these things enormous? Are they like 4 times as big as us?
They are large. So they're basically twice your size, if you consider it that way.
Okay.
But are they intelligent beings, or are they just attracted to trapping and...
That you don't know yet. You get the sense they're hostile. You don't know if they're intelligent.
Well, I'm worried about using my only good spell, which is Nature's Wrath, because I feel like he's already attached to Rowena.
I have an idea.
Please.
Well, it's for my turn, but I forgot I have a charm that detects thoughts. So if you want to know how intelligent they are, and or what their end game is, I could possibly detect their thoughts on my next turn, but we'll get to that later.
It's kind of tough. If I use my ensnaring strike, will it affect Rowena?
No, you feel pretty confident. I mean, this creature's pretty big. You think you could hit just it and not Rowena.
Okay, yeah, I will use my ensnaring strike then on just the creature.
Okay.
And hopefully let her break free.
You cast ensnaring strike on your sword and you try to grapple it. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay. Is that just a D20?
D20. Well, so it's you're rolling to hit with your long sword and you're trying it, whatever you're using here.
Okay. 8.
Was that your D20 plus? What weapon are you trying to hit it with?
I think I'm going to go with my greatsword.
So on your greatsword on D&D Beyond, it should say like +5. So click on that +5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. 22.
22. So that definitely hits. So now go ahead and roll that damage. So you're going to click that damage section next to it.
8.
8 points of damage to this creature. Awesome. And because you had Ensnaring Strike on, that counts as magical. And then go ahead and now we're going to see if Ensnaring Strike takes effect. So you can roll the damage for Ensnaring Strike, which is 1d6, and I'll see if he gets ensnared by it.
2.
Okay, so a little extra 2 damage. Yeah, he does fail.
Shall I hit cast? So
Yes.
it goes away for 2.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Well, hold on. I want to double check. Are you using Ensnaring Strike or are you using Nature's Wrath?
I think I was using Snaring Strike.
Okay, perfect. Then you're right. So you actually see, as Rowena's kind of inside this creature almost, that your vines kind of shoot up through it and they start to hold him and pull him down now. And he's stuck within these vines as well, unable to kind of like get his body out of it just yet. It's kind of holding on to him.
Cool. Nice.
That will end your turn, I'm guessing. Unless you want to move anywhere else. Oh, you have to be with him.
Yeah, if I can kick some more ass, I'd be down. But other than that, I'm good.
So it is you kind of go and see the lightning kind of from the middle of the area, and he is unable to hit anyone currently, as he's in this kind of space and in this crystal. So he's kind of like zapping out, sending electricity kind of out into different places, and it doesn't seem like it's able to land on anyone just yet. So that'll end his turn, and that'll bring us to Thad.
Okay. Thad is going to advance into the room. Let's see. Landing about here.
Okay.
And then go ahead and blast W1 with guiding bolts at 2nd level.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll to hit, unless that's a DC thing for me.
It is a roll to hit. Oh shoot! Oh yeah, that was 2nd level. 20, not natural.
That does hit.
Sweet. One annoying thing about rolling on D&D Beyond is that it opens up the spell sometimes, and then you can't roll damage without closing the spell.
It's weird that the drawer like covers it. I don't know. It's odd.
Okay, so that will be for 5d6 radiant damage.
5d6 radiant damage.
Which is a total of 23.
Nice. Yeah, so that really gives it some juice, and you see this thing just kind of like burst from this radiant energy from it, and like pieces of the water kind of slough off, but it kind of pulls it back and reforms around it. It seems like that was a pretty big hit, but it's still standing and still ready to take on more. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, other than the fact that, so on the hit, the target takes damage, and then the next attack roll made against that target before the end of my next turn has advantage.
Yep.
Because it's like mystical crap.
Yeah. So everyone sees this creature kind of light up too from this energy, and they feel like they can get a pretty good shot on it as they're guided toward it. So that'll actually bring us. That'll bring us back to W1, this other water creature, and Yeah, that's what he's going to try and do. So he is going to move into Ivo and grapple him as well. He will fail, so that's a miss on his part, and that'll bring us to Firo. Firo, what does Firo want to do? I think Firo's just going to go and try and help Zuna, seeing where he's going most likely.
It's my dude right there. Keep right.
So
These guys are
first thing,
massive.
Firo is going to cast Divine Favor on himself and kind of charge some of the energy of Sylvanas into his weapon. So he kind of pulls out his glaive, kind of gets it unslung from his back, pulls it up, holds it up. You see it kind of glow green, and you see these like ethereal vines wrap around it, and he just charges in, going after W1 with the glaive. And he's going to try to hit him. And he does. So that is not the most. 1d that plus 4. All right. Does a solid 6 points of damage, but it's all right. As he's cutting into this guy, hitting him through. That'll end Firo's turn, and that'll bring us to Ivo.
Okay. So, yeah, let's do it. So definitely a little conflicted because Rowena is in trouble. But I do have this W1 cowering down on me. And also Rowena has 2 gents at her side to try to battle the W2. So I'm going to stay put and engage W1. So just to recap, L1 is like a gem crystal kind of thing with lightning coming out of it?
Yeah, with lightning coming out of it.
Right, DM?
Yes. Yep.
And then the W1 and W2 are like water, like towers of water with tentacles.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna just wanted to make sure it was 100% I was clear. So I'm gonna just take my Shatter Spike to I'm gonna take my Shatter Spike to W1.
Okay, roll to hit.
Try to chop this guy up. Ooh, I got. Oh, let me go back. $26.
Oh, that definitely hits. Was that a natural 20?
No. And then I think it's 5 damage.
All right, 5 damage. So little poke at him. It is still your turn. Anything else you want to do? Going for that extra attack, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna do an extra attack.
Okay.
Gotta hit these guys down. Let me do it. Same deal, Shatter Spike. Right at the base, or the throat. Let's call it the throat of it. This is a 16.
That does hit.
And then this one. Ooh, this one's a little 8.
Nice, 8 points of damage. Awesome. Alrighty, sir. Anything else on your turn? As you're starting to kind of see this large water creature look a little bit smaller from the water you've strangely sloughed off.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll stay put.
Alrighty, that will end your turn. Bring us back to the top around in Rowena. Rowena, you are grappled and restrained. And it's hard. It's getting tough for you to breathe as this creature is like trying to force water into your mouth.
How can I break out of this?
You can do the same thing if you want to make a acrobatics check or an athletics check. Let's see if that gets you out. That'll count as your action though. So just so you know, you won't be able to.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yep.
All right, I'll do the acrobatics check.
Okay. Let me know what you get. $12. Not enough to get out of his grasp. So you're still in there. Any bonus actions or anything else you want to do? No, you're muted now.
Can I try to read his thoughts with the Medallion of Thoughts?
I think that's an action, but let me double check. Rowena.
Oh. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's an action. So maybe on the next one. Good try.
Okay.
But that will bring us to W2 again. And he is purposely going to try to take you with him and move into the range of the lightning crystal. And he does as he's like shoving water into your foot, trying to get there, still kind of squeezing on your body. He is going to try and do a bit more on you again. I just want to see if that's an instant hit or not. Just gotta check that real fast.
I just want to say, what a jerk.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
Not cool, bro.
He's just going to try and tighten up a little bit, see if you can resist it. 11 plus 5, 16. Your armor class is 14. He does hit. You take another 13 points of damage as he just squeezes you even more in there.
I'm going to have to take a nap in somebody else's hospital room after this.
That'll end his turn, though, and bring us to Zunis. And actually, Zunis, it did leave your range. So before your turn, if you want to take an attack of opportunity on it.
Absolutely.
With either your greatsword or your trident, either one that you'd prefer.
Greatsword, please.
Roll to hit.
Okay, 1 sec. Let me pull up my greatsword. +5. 13.
13 just hits.
Okay. Roll damage.
Mm-hmm.
7.
So you hit this creature expecting it to kind of like you really gave it the beans. It was a good land and you thought it was going to do a little bit more. But you notice now that the magical energy is gone from your weapon, it doesn't seem to do as much or really harm the creature as heavily.
Gotcha.
So that does 4 points of damage. All right. Now, Zunis, it is officially your turn if you'd like to do something.
I actually did want to cast a command.
Okay.
If possible.
Sure.
I know one of the options is drop.
Okay.
May I ask that creature to drop Rowena?
It's so polite of you to ask with your command.
The target drops whatever it is holding and then ends its turn.
That's true. Okay, so he needs to beat 14. He rolled a 4.
14.
He fails. So what are you telling him to do?
Drop my girl.
So he does. You actually see him let go of Rowena. She kind of hits the floor and spits out some of the water coming out of her mouth. But she is free from his grapple, although still there. Zunis, anything else on your turn you'd like to do?
Yeah, if I can attack again.
You can't. Your command was your action.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I'm set.
Thank you, Zunis.
Anytime, I got you.
That'll bring us to the crystal in the center. And now that he has a victim in its range, he is going to shoot out an electrical bit of energy at you and see if it hits. 8 plus 7. He just misses you as you see this liturgy just like whiz right by you. Luckily, your friend Zunis was able to not get you disadvantage on this check, so that worked out good. But that will end its turn, and it is now Thad's turn.
Yes. Thad is going to go ahead and blast some sacred flame at W1. So it's
what's the DC?
14.
Let me just check his bonus real quick. He succeeds.
Okay, so I imagine that's probably half damage.
I think for Sacred Flame, it's actually none.
Is it none?
Yeah,
oh, man. Okay.
Anything else on your turn, though?
No, that's going to be it.
Okay. That'll bring us back to W1, who is going to keep trying to do the same thing the other one did and pull another victim into range of the crystal. He will. He grabs Ivo. Ivo, you take 13 points of damage, and he is going to use his movement to pull you in. Actually, I need you to roll a athletics or a athletics or a acrobatics check real quick. See if he can pull you with him.
Let's do athletics because I'm fucking ripped. Ooh, 25.
So you are still kind of like taking this damage as he's constricting on you, but he can't seem to hold you and pull you backwards. So you're still in the same place you are now, but you did take that damage. That'll end his turn. That'll bring us back to Firo. Firo, understanding a little bit more of what's happened and seeing these creatures take damage from magical attacks, he kind of shouts to the group, "You need to use magic on them! Enchant your weapons or otherwise." And he keeps going into town with his glaive on W2, the one that was pulling in Rowena, and he hits. So he will do some more of that damage from his glaive, and his divine favor is still up. So he does. Ooh, that was not a great roll. 3 points of damage on that, and from his divine favor, another 2. So 5 points of damage to this creature, chipping away at it. That'll end his turn. Ivo, that brings us to you.
Okay. Well, definitely taking a little bit of resentment that W1 all of a sudden started to go try to basically grapple me and grab onto me. So I'm going to take my Shatter Spike again at him. Or it. I should say it.
Okay.
Water.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
19.
19 hits. And do you crit on 19? No. Okay.
Sometimes wonder if all
7.
of the...
7.
I was going to wonder if all of Clayton's dice just says 19 and 20.
He's got these special dice.
Yeah.
And then Clayton, I assume you want to do your extra attack as well.
Yes.
Yep. Go ahead and roll again.
20. No, I'm just kidding. Wait, actually it is 20. I got a 13.
It works. That definitely hits.
20. No, I'm just kidding. Damage is. Why can't I do? Oh, there it is. Damage is 11 this time.
All right, nice big hit. And also, while we're on the subject of extra attacks, Zunis, this is why you got to read your character sheet. You get extra attacks each turn too. So, if you take a weapon attack, you can actually swing twice with it.
Gotcha.
So just a heads up. So it can't be like spell and then attack, but it can be like I swing with my sword and then I swing again.
And then I swing again. Got it.
All right. So that'll end Ivo's turn, I'm assuming, unless you have any bonus actions you want to take.
No, I'm okay right now.
Okay. Rowena, back to you. You are kind of still in range of both of these creatures, actually all three of them now. I assume not doing very well. What are you down? Minus 26? So you're like a 7 health points? I'm doing the math on that right? Okay. But up to you where you want to go from here.
Okay.
Okay.
What was that about? You have to enchant your weapons.
If you want them to work.
Firo was saying these creatures seem to only be affected by magic of some type. Because he saw Zunis's hit, and Zunis's hit didn't seem to do as much damage.
Well, then I'm not going to.
Is there any way for me to have my weapon enchanted on the fly?
Rowena, you should get out of there. If you're really hurting and down to 7, you should get away from it.
I don't want to be useless. Though. Is there any way I can get my weapons enchanted?
I don't think for you, no. If only we had Dent in the party. Dent has an ability to do that for you.
Dent? He's too busy cutting films for these
That's right.
Okay, I would like to retreat a safe distance away, and then I would like to use my thought reading pendant.
Okay, so bonus action to disengage, get far, and then you want to try and use Medallion of Thoughts. I just want to double check something. Detect thoughts. I just got to check that spell and see what it does. Is there a DC or anything, or does it just work? Okay, so you can't really understand the thoughts, so to speak. It doesn't form words, but you get a sense that these creatures are here to guard, and that they've been brought here to guard the space or this temple. You're not sure.
Okay. Is that all I'm getting? Can I detect the importance of the crystal?
Roll an Arcana check to see how well you can use this medallion. Let's see how much more you get.
14.
Medallion of Thoughts really only gives you like surface thoughts, so it's hard to like connect. And these creatures really don't like have a language, so to speak, so it's hard to garner. But you get the sense the crystal is also some type of security device.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll relay that to my team. And I'm just happy that I was worried I would use the medallion and all I would hear was like their water thoughts sloshing around. So I'm glad I got something out of that.
Okay, so that's one charge of the medallion.
Yes. I'll mark that off.
Cool. So that'll end Rowena's turn and bring us back to W2, the one that was there, and it's going to just do the same strategy. This time he's going for Firo, though. And he hits Firo. Firo, I just want to see if he fails that throw. That's strength. It's his bonus. He's fine. So he does take some damage, but he is unable to pull him back into range of the creature. So pretty big hit on Firo. He just took 13 points of damage. But that'll now bring us to Zunis.
Am I allowed to do another command, or is that spell?
No, you can, as long as you have spell slots left to use, you can. You've so far used 2, I think.
I would like to tell W2 to flee.
Okay. You want to tell W2 to flee.
Yes. It's going to spend its turn moving away from me by the fastest means available.
Alright, so it... I don't know what's going on with your command, but he just rolled a 3. So he does that, and he just heads off into this corner. which will actually give Firo and Ivo attacks of opportunity.
Nice.
So Firo lands a hit. Ivo, if you want to roll yours as well and see if you hit him.
Well done.
Nice.
Whoops. Sorry, I was on mute. I rolled a 23.
Nice, that hits.
Nice.
Nice. Big hit from Firo as well as he lands his Divine Favor once more.
So there's been quite a bit of damage on W2.
W2 and W1 are looking quite a bit less energetic from what you said. They don't really bleed, but they don't seem to be as like in the fight as much. And then Ivo, what'd you do for damage?
Nine.
9. Nice. All right. Okay, that'll end Zunis's turn, and then bring us back to the lightning. Having no one within range. Let's see if he's going to use that now. He may. We'll see. Ba-ba-ba-bum. 100 feet line. Anyone that would hit that? Yeah, I think he's gonna do that. So, you see like this pulse of blue for a moment go, like shoot in, and that glowing crystal was basically the only light source. So just for a half second, the whole room goes pitch dark, and then all of a sudden it just shoots out again, and this huge arc of electricity just shoots forward, straight in front of him, trying to hit as many of the creatures as he can. But it looks like it's only gonna hit Ivo and Firo, and he actually is going to hit his own creature in that line as well. I need Firo and Ivo. I'll roll for Firo. Ivo, if you can make a dexterity saving throw for me. Firo, how'd you do on that? He fails. Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay, I think... Yeah, you just failed. Okay, so as this electricity just hits both of you, you both take 28 points of lightning damage. It just stun you for a moment as you're kind of knocked on your feet and into your portions there. You also notice that Firo, taking that kind of falls to the ground, electricity still kind of sparking off his body. He is unconscious and beginning to die.
Oh. So I took 28 points.
You did.
Hit points.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing, Ivo?
Oh. I'm down to 3.
I'm still at every single hit point.
He did actually end up killing his own water weird in the process of that, though.
Nice.
So, stands up.
Hey, at least
Good.
there's something good.
Good.
Dead.
Oh,
So that'll end his turn, and that'll bring us to Thad.
okay.
Wait, Firo
That
is...
is going.
Firo is unconscious currently.
Like
Gotcha.
dead or just unconscious?
Not dead. He's got to make some saving throws, but he is unconscious. He has 0 hit points currently.
Thad
Oh,
is having previous mistakes, going to cast Healing Word or Mass Healing Word at this point.
Okay.
And so everyone gains 5 hit points.
Nice.
Hopefully that'll keep you up on your feet for a little bit, Ivo.
You do see that Firo kind of like stumbles back to his knees as well.
Thanks, Thad.
You're welcome. Thad is also going to then move this way. You know what? Ooh. Yeah, Thad's gonna move this way next to Rowena, and then also use a free action to shout to Zunis, "If you're not using your trident, boy, toss it to Rowena."
Boy.
Okay. That ends Thad's turn, I think. And that'll bring us to Firo, who is not doing so hot. So... I think the first thing he's going to do is use his Lay on Hands pull to give himself some hit points back. So he's, if I need to do that, don't I? Reset everything because I forgot. He is going to give himself 10 hit points. And he'll give another 5 to Ivo. So he's back up 10. Ivo, you're back up 5. And then as a bonus action, he is going to cast Shield of Faith and give it to... fuck it, and give it to himself and say, well, let's hope this one works. And he walks into the range of the lightning crystal. And that's where he'll end his turn. Ivo, that brings us to your turn.
Wait, what is Shield of Faith exactly?
It gives him a bonus to his armor.
Wow. All right. I guess I should just be like, Pharaoh, be careful, buddy. Getting into it. So, all right. So none of us have really gotten that close to this, to L1. So we're not entirely sure. We know...
You did see that it can't seem to attack you if you're outside of its range, which is that blue circle on the map.
Right.
You can't see it. Hold on, sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. Is it just, what, 10? Yeah.
It's 10 feet away from it, but there, you should be able to see it now. So
okay.
Basically there. It can't seem to attack you normally outside of that range. He does have that big attack that's able to expand upon it, but seems like he was saving that for some reason, or it was saving that for some reason. And the water weirds were trying to push you into that space.
Gotcha.
Are you proficient? You're not proficient in Arcana, right? No. Never mind.
No. Shoot. I don't feel like I am healthy enough to try to attack him.
You do still have the other creature on the other side too.
But he's fleeing, right, in theory?
As of this point, he has stopped fleeing.
God damn it. Zunus, what is this second-rate spell you bought? Oh, shoot. Okay, so what I'm going to do then... Yeah, I can move my stuff, right? Yeah. I'm going to move over by him.
Okay.
By W2. And then take my... So I'm going to attack him with Fighting Spirit.
Okay. So you get advantage on your hits. You also give yourself 5 temporary hit points, just a heads up.
Yeah, that's mainly why I wanted to do it. Okay, so I'm back up to 18 now. All right, let's do it. Shatter Spike, try to take him down.
Did you get the 5 that Firo gave you too?
Yeah. Yeah, I was down to 3, so this past couple of turns I got 15.
Okay.
Did you get the? Oh yeah, you got the 5 I gave you then. 5 and 5.
Right.
All right, so go ahead and roll to hit and roll an advantage.
I got go back to that. 17.
17 hits.
Nine hit points.
Nice. And do you want to attack once more with your extra attack?
Yes.
And you still get advantage because Fighting Spirit lasts the whole turn.
Ooh. I got a 21.
That hits too.
10 for damage.
10. You sliced right through like the center of its mass, and it just melts as Shatter Spike cuts through it. This creature is now also dead.
Nice. Good.
2 down, 1 to go.
That'll end it and bring us back to Rowena.
I can't see the map on my screen anymore.
Have you tried reloading?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, refresh it.
Every time I refresh, it gets smaller, it seems.
You zoom in.
And when I zoom in, it goes to the side and becomes pixelated. But
It must be.
It's back.
There's like a zoom button. Don't like pinch to zoom. I think there's like a button to actually zoom in. I might be wrong. Or you can scroll. I don't remember exactly what it was.
I can move the map, but it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
seem
active
it
there.
actually. Command plus seems to make it just more pixelated.
Yeah, Command Plus will just stretch it. There's a zoom feature. I think it might just be scrolling.
Meh, I'm good.
Yeah, try them out.
Either way. But Rowena, it is your turn.
Okay, what's going on with the force field with the crystal?
So it's less of a force field and just more of like where you see the electrical like arcs seem to stop at, and it doesn't seem to be able to hit you unless you're in that circle, unless it uses its big power attack. That's the only way to hit outside of the circle that you've seen so far. It is basically this like diamond shaped, like 4-sided diamond shaped crystal. It's pretty large, like maybe a foot or so, set on top of this altar that pulses blue.
And didn't that Zunis told me just to give me a
Trident.
weapon?
Yeah, because it's although you know that
Yeah.
you're not proficient with trident, so it may or may not help that much.
Oh, right. I did try that once before.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll count that as your bonus
I
action.
catch it, and I throw it into the crystal.
Okay. Roll a. I'm pretty sure you're not proficient with that, so I'm gonna have you roll a dexterity check. I think that would be your bonus. Is it a finesse? Well, you don't get your proficiency bonus. You want to get that? Yeah, you're just gonna roll a straight d20.
Okay.
I guess I should check that first, just in case. Let's just see. Equipment.
Look at this song.
It's
Feels
really
like a
good.
desert adventure.
Yeah, little driving beat here. Rowena, I'll let you add your dexterity bonus to it because you're throwing it. You're not fighting with it. So whatever you roll, add 3.
Okay. 9.
It's a stationary object that actually is enough to hit it, funnily enough. So you hit the crystal and it kind of just barely wings it and cracks it a little bit. And as that happens, you actually notice that the electrical arcs that were kind of coming out of it actually grow further. And it looks like cracking the crystal has increased its range by a little bit more. And I'm guessing that'll end your turn. 'Cause
well,
that was your bonus action and action.
Yeah,
You get to roll for damage.
that didn't work.
No damage.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can roll for damage. I'll give you that. What was the damage on the trident? No, it's not like I had 3 different character sheets, so I have to look. Zunis. I'm gonna roll for you because I don't think you have it in your inventory yet. So it's 1d6 plus 3. We're gonna minus the 3 because you're not proficient, so you get 5 points of damage on this creature.
Is it a +1 magical weapon?
It is.
Ooh. Excellent.
Oh, I guess actually that makes sense. So it would be 6 points of damage instead. Gotta remember that. Extra.
Wait, it takes 6
It takes 6. It takes 6, not you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the trident like winged off and now is in the corner of the map.
Okay.
So that'll
Okay.
end Rowena's turn and bring us to Zunis now. So you just saw Rowena chuck your trident across the room at this thing. It did hit it and kind of fly off into the other side. And it looks as though breaking it open actually made grow its range a little bit more.
Don't know what spell makes sense here with this thing. There's no rules with this water guy. I mean, can I do another ensnaring strike, or is this thing too big? I've already done it once.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, you get the sense ensnaring it might not matter because it looks stationary at this point. It's not moving.
It's not moving, and it's not truly attacking us at the moment, right?
That is true.
Could we all just walk away?
So you take a few steps back, and nothing seems to happen.
We don't need to fight this, guys. This is a battle that we created in our heads. Am I wrong?
So far, he has not attacked you as you've left.
Should we just walk away?
Do you think we're all imagining this, Zunis?
Well, if he's not attacking us as we walk away, shall we attempt to just exit the fight as this thing grows and we create it? Its
How do we know
power.
it won't summon more of those wave creatures to try and kill us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you've seen so far is this thing has two types of attacks. One, the thing that it normally has at its disposal is just like hitting you with like a lightning lick, so to speak, but he can only do that within the range that he has. The other one is like this huge mega arc of electricity that kind of shoots out in a pretty, long line that does get outside of it, but you don't know how many times he's able to do that. So far, he's only done it once. So there's certainly some gamble here.
Both scary, yeah.
But like you, as an example, you have enough room with where you were to get back around this corner, and he hasn't been able to hit you. Firo is still in there. Take that for what it's worth. If you want to use this turn instead of leaving and you want to try to study it a little bit more, I'll let you use your action to do an Arcana check and try to understand a little bit more of this thing and see if you can. You're just not proficient.
I think maybe saving Firo is something I'd like to do then.
Okay.
Instead of, in order to save Firo,
You just tell him to get the fuck out of there.
yeah, Firo, get out, man. That's my move.
And he kind of looks back with like a raised eyebrow, but he does seem to hear you. It is the crystal's turn once more, and he doesn't seem to be able to use his lightning spell once again. So that'll bring us to Thad.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to cast a good old bit of some Cure Wounds on Rowena.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh God, double ones. So you get five health back.
That's all right. We're slowly bringing her back up. Thad, anything else on your turn?
I'm going to just say, if we're going to run out of here, let's run out of the place we haven't seen yet. The door to our left.
Okay. So you want to just go right through this way?
No, I just shout that to the group.
Okay. But you're not going there.
I am not going there. In fact, I am going to move into the area here.
All right. So that'll bring us to Firo now.
Oh shit! How do you argue that? Never
So
mind.
Firo goes and says, "Are we killing this thing or are we leaving? I need an answer. I thought we were leaving, but then Thad's here now."
Kill it! Ivo, what are we doing?
I mean, fuck it. Let's try to kill it.
Okay. So
I don't know what's gonna kill it though. The weapons don't work. I have no spells of value.
So Firo takes another swing at it with his glaive. And he, again, it's a stationary object, so he hits it without issue. And he'll roll damage. So that's 6 plus that 1d4 for divine favor. Oh, actually, he lost divine favor because he put Shield of Faith on, so never mind. So he does 6 points of damage to this thing. You see it kind of pulse with electricity, and then the crystal completely breaks. And now what you actually see is out of this crystal, this lightning, kind of like liquid lightning energy comes out, and this thing is now large, almost as big as the water weirds were. And now it seems as though he can spread electricity to all portions of this room. This thing now seems to be a sentient spell, just moving around, able to move freely wherever he needs to. And that will end Firo's turn, I think, unless there's a bonus action there, which I don't think there is, but we'll check. Nope, he's still got Shield of Faith on. He's kind of focusing on that. Those are all actions. Okay, yep, so that is going to be Ivo's turn next.
Okay, guys, maybe new plan. Maybe we run.
You get the sense this thing can chase you now.
What do you...
It's no longer stationary.
Shit. Well, I guess I should just fight it? I don't know, like, is there anything... what is behind it? What are those statues?
Those are statues of the elven gods. During this combat, they have not seemed to react or anything.
So I feel like I feel like even though this thing might be able to chase us, I still feel like maybe we should leave or try to at least get away from it as quickly as possible. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, if it's just going to keep growing.
What would Ivo do here, friend?
Should you see if walking away actually turns into something that's where you're safe as opposed to being followed?
Was there where W2 was heading, was there an exit that way? Or they were just fleeing to like the corner of the room?
Yeah, it looks like he was just trying to get his way as far away from Zunis as he can. There's no exit in that direction.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, this is a toughie. I feel like it's not a good idea to stay and battle this thing. I feel like we're already hurt. So unless the group opposes it, Thad just ran in.
One turn ago before what's his face?
All right.
Open.
All right. No, you know what? We have
You do get the sense you had a chance to run and now it's gone.
All right, I'm going in. All right, I'm going in.
Roll to hit, friend. Are you doing Fighting Spirit again, or are you just going to go au natural?
I'm going to attack.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely doing. I'm juicing it. I'm taking some roids and I'm going after this thing.
All right.
Let me just mark it that I do Fighting Spirit. Wait, where? There it is. Okay. When I do Fighting Spirit, so each time I do it, I get 3 per long rest.
Correct.
That each time gives me additional 5 points, right? It's not just once.
Correct.
It's each time I do it.
Yep, it stacks.
Okay, so I'm going to do Fighting Spirit again. So let me just give myself quickly some points. 23. Because I feel like I'm going to need to have as many hit points as possible.
And also, just point of clarity, too. If you just want to get life back and don't want to use Fighting Spirit, you can also just use Second Wind, which gives you just health.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw that. But we're fighting now. Consensus of the group is to fight. I am not going to be a chicken. All right, here we go. I'm going in against Shatter Spectre L1.
All right.
But with Fighting Spirit. So, this one's tough. 11.
That misses.
All right, we'll go at it again.
That,
21.
That hits.
Nice. Damage is 7.
7 points of damage. All right. Chipping away at it. He's starting to look a little bit weakened. But that now brings us back to the top of the round. It is Rowena's turn.
Can I retrieve the trident and try
yeah.
Him again.
Yeah, you could probably make it. I think the hard part is. Yeah, I mean, if you use your bonus action to pick it up, like get there and dash, you can get in range and fight him again. You're just going to roll a d20 plus 1 to see if you hit it with it. And then I'll do damage. 3 misses. So that was your turn. That'll now bring us back to Zunis.
I may try and turn the Faithless here. If I can.
You would know pretty confidently that would not affect this creature.
Alright. I was just trying to use something for my Channel Divinity pack. And I guess I will use my Great Sword then.
Okay.
And attack.
All right.
And should I roll hit points?
You can. You got to roll. You got to roll to hit it first.
Okay. So in that case, I roll a 18.
18 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Remember, he's only going to take half damage, though, because you're rolling with a non-magical weapon.
4.
4 points of damage, reduced to 2. So not a huge hit, as you notice this spell just kind of moves around your greatsword.
And then damage is 10.
Oh, was the 2 your hit roll?
Yeah, I messed up the hit roll. It was 4 and then plus 5, so 9.
Oh, that misses.
Then 10 was the damage.
Yeah, so no damage on that one. You do get an extra attack, though, if you want to roll it again and see if you do some stuff on him.
Yeah, with the D20.
Uh-huh.
Oh, baby, natural 20.
All right. It's a little critical hit. So on that greatsword, if you just right-click on it where the damage is, you'll get the option for critical hit.
There we go. That's
still going to be reduced.
22.
Nice. So 11 points of damage because it's reduced by half. But you're getting there. You're starting to see this thing like patter out. Not as much energy. Still alive though and ready to go. And that'll bring us.
I think a weapon won't work.
That'll bring us back to its turn. And it you notice, and it's like leftover bit of life. It's able to kind of juice up, and you see that blue glow come back again. And the room energy flickers once again as its light source kind of dissipates a bit and then just explodes outwards. And we're going to see where he can put this for maximum catastrophe. Yeah, he's going to go kind of kitty corner into this room because that's going to hit Firo, Thad, and Zunis. I need all of you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, man. I feel like Firo is done again.
Firo is probably done again.
I rolled a 6.
6, okay. And then Thad, what'd you get?
15.
You just make it. So for Firo and for Zunis, you both take 28 points of lightning damage as it just shoots through. And you, Thad, take half that, so 14 points of damage. Firo is once again unconscious.
What a day.
What a day.
That is pretty... not quite that much. And
You should have run out.
Is pretty far down. Okay, that'll end its turn, and that'll bring us to Thad.
Alrighty. We're going for a hit with good old Helm's Retribution.
Yeah.
16.
16 hits.
Classic.
Hey, there we go. So I'll do the damage. My god, I've rolled so many ones. 3 points of damage.
All right, 3 points of damage. Not quite enough to kill it.
But I'd also like to use one of the charges.
Sure.
You know the drill. You made the thing.
So
If he attacks us, then he gets damage
Sure.
done.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So he's got a charge on that is activated. I don't remember putting that a DC on that, did I?
DC 13,
13.
it looks like. Dex saving throw.
That's cocked. He does succeed. Just want to check something. It's still on. It doesn't like go away. He just doesn't. Oh, actually, I guess I don't do it until he takes damage. So we'll do that next.
Yeah. It's when he does damage to us. So on his next turn, if he were to hit.
That's right. Ivo, that brings us back to your turn. Oh, actually, I need to do a death save for Firo. Firo has failed one death save. 2 more, and then he's dead. But Ivo, it is your turn.
No, buddy.
No.
Sorry, buddy.
That was my guide.
I feel like I just gotta keep at it. I'm gonna do again. Yeah, again, fighting spirit, same deal. My last fighting spirit.
Okay.
Let's go.
With my get my hit points up, cool, and then take my shadow spike, and I'm gonna do one of these. I'm not gonna do a hand. I'm gonna just like try to stab him with it. See if that works.
All right.
Instead of slicing him, I'm stabbing him.
All right. Roll to hit.
See if that does. Damage. 26.
That hits. Was that a natural 20 for you?
No. I feel like there needs to be like a button on D&D Beyond that you hit that like it's like a sound or something goes off. Okay, so damage is 9.
9 points of damage. All right. He's still standing, but he is quickly fading. You want to go again? You got, I think, one more attack in you.
This one is only a 16.
That does hit, though.
Damage is 10.
10. All right. How do you want to kill this thing?
Oh yeah. I'm still like I'm stabbing it, and then once I get like I'm in it, I like rip it up. I like Swing it up.
So as you kind of get into it, you see the electricity kind of pulling, and it's arcing out randomly, just like shooting in all directions. And finally, like the random arcs just kind of like hit off the wall, bounce off, and then slowly start to dissipate less and less and less as it just ends its existence. There's no body, no corpse, no nothing, just the remnants of the shard it was trapped inside of.
Nice.
And that'll kind of end the combat that you see here.
I thought that would never end.
In front of you, you still see a bleeding out, kind of fried, smelling a little crispy Firo.
Oh no!
Can I lay on hands?
Sure. How much are you giving him?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I have I'm at 16 hit points, but I'll give him 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of breathes back to life once again. Looks back up.
Still rough, yeah.
Um.
I'll try my luck curing his wounds as well.
Okay. How much are you giving him?
Oh my god, 6.
All right. It's a little something. He's there. He's about half now. Zunis, were you giving any more lay on hands to yourself too?
Yeah, I'll give 5 to myself.
All right. So you have this room in front of you cleared of the enemy that you can see so far. You've got that door to your left, and then the way that you started kind of exploring first.
Oof. Ivo, how are you doing? You almost went down for a minute there as well, right?
True. I was down to 3, but now I did with Fighting Spirit and plus some help from my friends. I'm back up to 28, so I'm actually on the middle. I'm hurting, but I'm okay.
So just remember, Fighting Spirit is temporary hit points. So I think after a certain amount of time, they disappear.
So I'm back down. So do they disappear after the battle?
I have to see how long those temporary. They change per turn or per ability. I have to see how long this one lasts.
That's right.
Still very, very bloodied as well, right?
Yeah, Rowena's probably pretty far down there too.
Oh yeah. And we're all underwater. We never got this potion.
Yeah, I mean, you are in a place where you could take a short rest. If you want to chance it and like take a full rest, you could. A short rest.
A short rest would be nice.
Yeah, some health points back, because
I guess then we probably shouldn't have used all those spells. It's better than not, or it's better than dying.
So, I'm just gonna say the Fighting Spirit lasts a minute.
Oh.
So just so you know for clarity, I gotta look and
Okay.
it's just not there, but I'll say it lasts a minute.
Okay. So if it goes away, I'm back down to 12 then.
Right. And then Rowena, I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh no, that's fine.
I think we need to discern the purpose of this crystal.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
true.
we
Could
can
we-
investigate the
Oh,
room.
I don't know how to do that.
Could we do that, DM, while we take like a short rest,
Totally.
while we like rest for an hour and get some hit dice?
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
expensive.
I'm gonna do a few things because I think I heard everyone. Rowena, you said you wanted to like collect the shards.
Yeah, I didn't have a really strong plan, but that works for me.
That's fine. We'll say you take them. So you've got them if you want to just like put a custom item in your inventory so you remember. Ivo, you said you wanted to investigate the room, so roll an investigation check for me. And then everyone, if you'd like to take a short rest, not a long rest, it's a little different. You're not going to get everything back. I think we've gone over this, but just for clarity for the folks, because we don't use short rest too often. Short rest lets you recover some life, but not everything. If you click on where it says short rest, it gives you the option to roll what are called hit die. And you can see how many you have by how many checkboxes you get. So you click on however many you decide you want to use, and then it says what your hit die is. So in this case, for like Ivo, it's 1d10 plus 2. He rolls a d10 and adds 2 to that number, and does it however many dice he decides to roll, and he adds that number to his life.
Huh.
Some abilities come back when you take a short rest as well, but usually not spells. So just a thing to remember.
Yeah.
Firo is definitely going
I
to
rolled a 17 for investigation.
The room is like really the center point of the room was that crystal that you broke and it was seeming there. What you can tell on that though is that crystal doesn't look like it was part of the original architecture. The place where it was set upon, like the little kind of metal prongs that was holding it, look like they're much newer. They don't match the other pieces of metal that you see here. So while there's nothing really of like value or material that you can take other than maybe the crystal shards that Rowena pocketed, you can tell that this crystal was placed here way more recently than the temple was originally. So it doesn't look like it was part of the temple.
All right.
Okay.
That is good to know. Maybe associated with that guy whose name I forgot.
Valdru.
Valdru. That's right. So in order to take the short rest, I check a few boxes and then take short rest and then roll D2?
Yep, exactly.
And I may check all 5.
It doesn't roll the dice for you, so you have to just remember to do that on your own.
All right, I'm going to do all 5.
I'm doing 2. Got 9 hit points back, which left me feeling okay.
And Zunis, while you're totally okay to take all of them if you want, I may not recommend that in case you need to take another short rest later.
Too late, and I've never taken a short rest.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, I took 2, and I'm back up to 26 hit points now.
I'm at 19.
Did you take any dice or no?
Who, me?
For the short
Yeah.
rest?
Arena.
Wait, do I roll
once
once for every one I take?
Yeah.
Oh.
Screw that.
So basically,
Okay.
think of it like you have that many, however many you have hit dice to choose, you can roll that as many times as you chose.
Okay, well then I'm doing that better.
So Zunis, how many did you end up rolling, and how much life did you get back?
I did 5, all 5.
Okay.
And then the first one I rolled 11. The second one I rolled a 3. Third one I rolled. So that's 14 plus 3 again. 17.
So I think you're already back up to full health. So I'm giving you the option as your TM. Are you sure you want to roll all of them?
Yeah, if I'm at full health, I think I can revise my short rest to just 3. Confirm. And then I'll full health myself. All right, I'm back.
Okay. Then Rowena, what's your health at now?
I'm fully charged. I'm at 33.
33. Awesome. Burp. Ba-bum-bum. Okay. And then Thad, where's your health point at now?
I'm at 38.
38. So that's 9. And then Ivo, where are you?
26.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. All right, guys. So you've kind of stayed in this space for about an hour or so, just investigating, looking through some things. All of the creatures that were around you are now done. So it's kind of up to you where you want to head in the next direction. And I will say, I know for our East Coast crew, it's a little bit late. You guys want to pause here and then pick up next week?
I'm going a little
I was
longer.
going a little longer.
Whatever my wife wants to do.
It's a good rule to
Yeah.
follow, friend. So up to you where you guys would like to go next.
Well, I think we got to check out that other space that's by Zunis, that doorway.
Yeah. So you go into it, and it looks like it is another stairway, much like the first one leading back upwards. Looks like this is probably what would take you to that other tower. That first one that other one that you saw that was intact outside. So this would take you back outside of the temple.
But we don't have.
Seems like the place to go.
You guys don't have the gills. Or the
This
potion.
one is intact. So there should be air up there.
Yeah, this would be like basically like the way you came in, but the other tower away. You guys saw 2 intact towers on the outside. This looks like this is the other one.
Gotcha. So no one would have to jeopardize their lives by swimming. Got it.
Yeah, as it seems right now, it doesn't look like you would need to. You do get the sense that the tower is probably much like the other one, but you don't know at this point.
Well,
Feels like we got to check it out.
we've already kicked some ass here. Let's go.
Yeah.
So you go up, and as you suspected, this is another air pocket that you can kind of see. There is another cut hole in the floor that looks like it goes back out into the lake bed from here as well.
Not much up there. I guess we should go explore the on the other side.
Yeah, let's roll.
So you go back across where you found the chandeliers, down past the kind of space in the junction that you went. There were kind of 2 places here that you didn't investigate a ton. The bottom, which seems like it might be an old maybe library or even reliquary, because you saw like carvings of stone creatures and things, and then a stone storage area to the north that looked like it was empty. Thad kind of investigated this area up here, saw there was a door that was closed leading into another space. There's also a door down here as well. Both of the doors seemed like they had the sounds of water from behind them, like moving water, which clue you in that it might not be flooded, but there's water in that space. And these are what you remember were the destroyed towers. You haven't really investigated the space that you're in right now, Thad, a ton. If you want to look around a little bit more, it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, I'll look around. I'm curious if there seem to be anything that's been disturbed recently, like any traces of movement or anything like that.
So with your passive perception, actually, roll an investigation check for me too. See what you find.
10.
So with your passive perception, you can kind of see like the bookshelves are long. They've been destroyed for a while. And a lot of the like figurines and things have been pushed around here as well. But it does look like someone has like ransacked this place, which would be weird if it was underwater from the beginning of the raising, which is strange. So it looks like someone has been here looking for things. So you think things have been important. With that investigation check, you do see more of the stone figures that are in different states of working, broken, etc. One that you pick up almost looks like it's an eagle that's missing like a wing, like the wing has been broken. You can't see where the other wing is, but you do find that piece. The eagle looks like it's got a hole cut through it, like in 2 different spots, one in its beak and one kind of on top of it. Can you roll? I actually want you to roll a performance check.
Okay. A 4.
So you look at this thing and you're like, I'm not sure what this is. I can't tell. There is a hint, though, as you kind of like look at it a bit more, that just if you catch it right, it seems like it has a little bit of a glint to it.
Glint to it.
Almost as if it might have been magical at one point.
Interesting. Oh man. And is there? Do any of the other statues have a similar glint, or is there anything of interest about these statues?
This is the only one that kind of like stood out. The other ones aren't carved in the same way. They don't have the same holes cut into them.
I'll show it to the group and see if anybody else gets anything from it.
Let's see who might put on there. Yeah, we'll have everyone do the same thing. I'd like everyone to roll a performance check.
Two.
13.
$21.
So I think that got Ivo the biggest. So Ivo, you put it up to your lips, and you're like, "Oh, this looks kind of like a whistle," and you blow on it, and it whistles. It actually is a whistle. And as you kind of are holding it up, Zunis can make out on the underneath there are really faint carvings, and they seem like they're in Elvish. And in Elvish, it's hard to make out, but you get a little piece of what it says, and it says "to fly."
Ooh, cool.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Should we all try and find this wing real quick?
Roll an investigation check.
All of us?
Whoever's looking for the wing, this other piece.
I rolled a 12.
I'll do it.
I'm looking.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled a 17.
24.
24.
So Rowena actually finds it buried in there. There is another piece of the wing that just matches up perfectly, but it's been broken off.
Ooh.
Check it out,
Let's
guys.
put that in the bag of holding. Rowena, good job.
Yeah.
So
Good
Rowena,
eye.
if you can put in your bag of holding, or in the bag of holding, whoever has the bag of holding, just mark this in the inventory. One broken Elvish eagle whistle.
Okay. Should I add that in as a... Let's see, add items.
Should be a custom.
As a custom, or...
I would do custom for now.
Okay.
Until you figure out what this is or find a way to fix it, because right now it's not really usable.
And do you know, okay, how do I rename? I added it as a unidentified item for...
If you click on it, and I think there's an option to customize, and there's an option for name.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
And Rowena, if you want to do the same thing and just make sure you have the shards in your pouch as
Yeah.
well. So really the only place left on this floor that you can see are these two doors. One in this room here and the other one near the storage room that seem to be leading into the towers that were broken from the outside. And I should say, just to make it clear, they were broken from the areas that you could see outside. And again, those were about 4 stories tall. So you think maybe the bottom stories are intact enough to not be flooded. You're not 100% sure yet, though.
Well, I feel like we've got to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So
roll.
which one are we going into?
Top, bottom.
Say top.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you enter into...
This is
the
maybe
door.
me ruining our lives again.
You try to open the
Just
door.
on a whim, you know.
You try to open the door, and it is locked. Just strange, because this is the only door that's been locked so far.
Ooh.
All right, let's try the
That
bottom.
makes you want to open
I
it.
guess we do have ways. Yeah.
We can go right over. Yeah.
Is Rowena...
I know Rowena has... The A lockpick.
She does have. She has not replenished her thieves tool, so she has one left.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
I can use it if you
I
want.
can use it if you want.
Yeah.
And if not, we can always just use Shatter Spike.
Yeah, fuck it. Break this motherfucker. That's why we got Shatter Spike in the first place, is to break fucking things down. So, Rowena, I'd like you to roll a thieves tool check. I put that on your skill list for you to make it a little easier.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Four.
24.
Nice. Yeah, you kind of put that lockpick in, and as like you're halfway through thinking, like, man, I really hope I don't break this last. It just opens. The whole door is just easy, no problem. Like you're not even really thinking about it. Opens up, swings open into the bottom level of one of the towers. It seems to be empty, with the exception of some water dripping in from the inside. And the water's coming in at a relatively steady pace. So there's a pretty big puddle near the end there. Rowena, you stepped inside first, so can I have you roll a perception check for me? And it's still dim light for you. I'm assuming by now light has been turned off, so go ahead and roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
$18.
18.
You don't notice much in this space, but you do see that there seem to be areas where like there's vegetation and like outside creatures have been. In this bottom area, it seems like for the most part that is devoid of anything like that.
What did you say about the bottom part of it?
This area that you're standing on top of right now, it seems as though like
no life has ever been there.
Well, like there's no vegetation, there's no dirt, there's no water. It seems oddly devoid of anything, where the other areas of this place, like parts of the outside lake, have started to kind of like crawl in.
I'd like to investigate
the patch that seems dead.
Yeah, pretty easily as you're checking around, since you kind of could tell, you could see like there's a bit of a cutaway here, and like the stonework doesn't seem as like connected, like there's no mortaring between them, and so you can actually fit your fingers down there a little bit, and you lift up, and you actually see that the stonework that you pulled was just a facade. It was just laid on top of what was the original floor, which is a hatch, a metal hatch that looks like it leads downwards.
Oh,
I think I should.
what do you think? Should we go down the tunnel?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think.
That's good.
I don't think
we have a
I
better.
don't think we have a better option.
Into the depths.
So Rowena and crew, you walk down you step down this, I should say, this long metal ladder that is attached to this space. And the stonework here matches the stonework above. So this looks like it might have been part of the original temple. You get the sense that someone created that stone facade to hide the original floor in this basement below. And as you step down this ladder, it's still pretty dim, but there are small candles, not torches, in this space that are lit, and they're kind of lit high above. And you start to recognize maybe a little bit why as you all start to step down into this space. You land in this pretty small, round, circular basement that does have a door on one side leading outwards. But in this basement, you recognize those same small casks that you saw being pulled up to the surface into the hut. And on these casks are the symbols of 3 black teardrops. In fact, I can show you that. And if I could... Who's proficient in religion? I'm guessing Zunis and Thad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, not Zunis. So Thad, if you could roll a religion check for me.
Oh my god. Oh wait, I thought that was a 1. 11.
11. You get a little bit of what these symbols mean. And your knowledge of the pantheon of Yaren has given you some context as to what these symbols mean. Most folks see these symbols and they recognize what it is as a marker of poison. It usually means stay away. It would be like in our speak, like a caution sign of like toxic, stay away from this. In this world, that's how it's usually used. But the reason why it's usually used this way is this is actually the symbol imagery of the goddess of disease and poison, Tolona. So let me just do one quick thing for y'all. So while it's not on a stopper like this, that symbol is what you see painted on the casks. Those 3 triangles in that order.
That Scrounger had described, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Scrounger saw these were also marked on these casts. So these are probably the casts that Scrounger saw being sent up to the surface. So for most everyone, you see the casks and you immediately think, for most of you, this is some type of poison. This is some type of toxic thing inside of these casks. And there are loads of them. They are stacked. You guess probably at least 60 to 100 stacked in this space. And they're not like big barrels. They're smaller barrels. So think like a pony keg if you can. And they're just kind of like stacked on top of each other, arrayed in different ways. But there are lots of them in this space. I'm going to send you something, Thad, so you have it via just like a private Discord message.
Cool.
Ooh.
A DM from the DM.
Message. You are welcome to share if you want. It is up to you. You would know about that given your religion check. So for the rest of the group, you've come into this space. There is a door in front of you that looks to be the same type of door as the doors you've seen. So far, this area looks, minus the casks in here, looks like it was still part of the original temple from above. This might have just been like an old basement or cellar. But there is a door in front of you that is closed.
Shatter Spike. If we can't open it.
Well, I
you
mean,
haven't
it's
tried to
closed.
open it
You
yet.
don't know if it's locked.
Yeah, let's give it a shot first.
So
Shatter
the door.
Spike last option.
Zudis, I'm not just your friend who just breaks stuff at command. Try to open it yourself.
The door does open. It's not locked.
Let's Shatter Spike it though.
And you kind of see in front of you that they are a narrow hallway. And the first thing you notice is you step into this narrow hallway that's really only enough for you guys to kind of walk down single file. Although you can kind of see around each other, I would say it's maybe about 4 feet wide. Is that the stonework here looks very different. The stonework here looks like a completely different type of rock. It's gray instead of white. It's not eroded. It looks like it's been mortared pretty recently. So this looks like it might have been an addition at some point. And as you traverse these narrow hallways here, your nostrils are attacked by this acrid scent. You look ahead and attempt to kind of discern the source of this smell, and you see these gentle bursts of greenish light bloom in front of you at routine intervals. This poof, 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 and you hear these puffs as well every time you see this light kind of come up. The hallways before you meet in an intersection that go to the left and to the right. And as you're kind of deciding which way should I go, as you see this intersection in front of you, you actually see this stony winged creature stomp past this intersection. In one hand, it has one of the casks you saw from earlier. And in the other, it has the lid to that cask. As it out of view and past the opening in the intersection. So we're going to pause there. I think that might be the best stopping point for the night because there is still quite a bit more to this place.
That seems good.
So wait, what exactly happened with these casks at the end?
You saw. In fact, I can show you what you saw. Hold, please. You see one of these things walk past with a cask in its hand. Yeah, with the cask in its hand in one hand and a lid, like an open lid to the cask in another.
Uh-oh.
Oh, lovely.
As it walks through this greenish glowing area. And you hear
I guess I'm glad I saved some healing points. This guy's not gonna be
you, my friends, are on a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl. It's great.